Hey everybody! Welcome to Nature Check's Arda Campaign, the show where you come for the game and stay for the science. I'm checking our stream. There it goes. It's live.
Yay.
I still know how to do this. Hi, I'm Sheryl, and my pronouns are she, her. I'm the Dungeon Master for the Arda Campaign, and this is my third of 4 D&D games this weekend. I'm a PhD student studying ecology at the University of Illinois at Chicago, and when I'm not doing research, I'm also a science communicator and the host of the Roving Naturalist on YouTube. Next, we've got Peter.
Hi, I'm Harold. My intro has slowly gotten less intelligible over the year that we've been playing. So I'm going to go with he pronouns. I get paid to do agriculture teaching. And tonight I am playing Cedric and Fletcher.
Both of the casty boys.
This
then
will go great.
yeah. Then we've got Nancy.
Hi everybody, my name is Nancy. I'm an entomologist, which means that I study bugs, and I live in Ecuador where normally I do tourism, but obviously that's not happening. So, hi! I play Kay. She is a roguish young woman, and our pronouns are she, her.
And you might want to turn down the gain on your fancy mic just a wee bit.
Sorry, I talk loud.
That's totally fine. Then we've got Joe.
Hi, I'm Joe. I am a geneticist at the.
I'm rubbing off on you.
I just lost. Sorry, I can't talk today. I am a geneticist at the University of Wyoming. I'm trying to figure out why weeds hurt crops, and my spare time, I really like to climb. And my character is Lucanus, our resident barbarian. My pronouns are him. Lucanus's pronouns are he, they.
Peter, I blame you entirely.
For Joe's intro?
Just for all of this. And then we've got Cindy.
Hey, I'm Cindy. I'm Cindy, she, her. I'm a science enthusiast and play an Endoran engineer over on the Heroes of Awesome Constellation on the Weirdlings Twitch and YouTube channels. Here, I'm playing Nautia, the water method druid. Also she, her.
Marvelous. If you're
Very professional.
Yeah. If you're watching us live right now, thanks for being here. Oh, index cards are the best. As always, if you have any questions for the cast, make sure to put them in the chat so we can respond. And of course, be sure to check out the reference section below for the social media handles for the entire Nature Check cast. Don't forget, if you're not able to watch us live or you want to share us with your friends, you can, as always, find the sessions for our TTRPG games in video form on our YouTube channel and in podcast form everywhere. Follows, subscriptions, comments, shares, and reviews, and smashing the like button and whatever else you're supposed to do. Those really help us out on all of our platforms, so thank you for doing those things as well. Anybody have any last minute promo items?
I just did a YouTube video with my friend Matt talking about snake mimicry and caterpillars on my YouTube, and it is really epic because there's actually caterpillars that can blink their eye spots, which is crazy. So yeah, that face. He told me that. I was like, no, that's BS. And then he showed me, like, he sent me a couple blogs and some videos recording it. And it's like, it's absolutely amazing. So if you're interested in caterpillars that look exactly like snakes, you're interested in learning all about that, that was my latest video on my YouTube channel.
Nice.
That is cool. I didn't know that was a thing.
Did not know that was a thing either.
Okay, neat. So go check that out. Okay, other than that, I guess we'll get started.
So I'm going to be doing Joe Plays Pokemon this Thursday, and I will have a Twitter thread up about last week's Pokemon, Golisopod, on Nature Check sometime this week. And for Ask an Entomologist, I am doing research on a thread about Mormon crickets, which is, kind of local thing around here, apparently. So
Neat. Okay.
Yep.
Let's get started then. Everything changed when the gods left Lacidus. The world became a complicated place. For almost a century, people fought with one another and struggled to find new ways of being. The loss of the gods also made the continent of Arda newly accessible to the outside races, and humans from Tenebria established New Seychester as an outpost city on Arda's southern shore. In the spring of 972, 4 young people from different lands encountered one another in New Seychester. Though their alliance was first formed out of necessity, curiosity, and coin, they have now come to trust and rely upon one another as they explore a strange new world. Fletcher, a human wizard, collects samples and takes copious notes about everything they encounter in Arda, as he hopes to publish on his discoveries and make a name for himself. Cedric, a dwarven cleric, came to Arda to share the word of Moradin, but in the meantime, he's met a lot of new and diverse people and learned to rely on his friends when the going gets tough. Lucanus, an elven barbarian, seems either to be running from or towards something, but he hasn't let his dark past prevent him from working with and protecting his newfound companions. Kay, a roguish young woman, is new to the violence and adventure of the broader world, but her desire to make a difference and do the right thing to help the people she cares about pushes her forward. And Nautia, a mephit from the elemental plane of water, was trapped on Arda while partying when the loss happened. Now that the river she relies upon has become poisoned, she's teamed up with this unlikely group of adventurers to save her home. Yesterday, you met a Miriam named Tulip in a field of monarda flowers. She showed you pop bugs, strange beetles that you later learned are somehow connected to the ethereal plane. You helped Tulip protect the pop bugs from a group of orcs with nets and bags, then went to visit her village. Flos Agri is a medium-sized village composed of buildings woven entirely of prairie grasses. You met the village elder, the village headman, the tavern owner, and the apothecarist. Fletcher worked on science, Lucanus destroyed some public property, and Cedric made a scene while trying to diagnose Lucanus's strange ailment. Last night, you all camped out on the edge of Flos Agri and had a sleepover with Tulip. It's now Uladamum, the 26th day of Bloom Run, another cloudy day on the prairie. You're waking up, some of you with an aura hangover, to the slightly at a distance stares of some of the Miriam townsfolk. What would you like to do now?
Hey, I just wanted to apologize to you guys for wrecking your bar. I'm normally not that destructive, and I've just kind of been going through some stuff.
It's fine. He, and the innkeeper is pointing at Cedric and then also over at Nautia. They fixed it, at least for the time being, so it's fine. We'll figure it out.
Is there anything that we can do for you guys? Because
I mean, your friend paid for the damage yesterday, so it's fine.
Okay, as long as we're cool. So Lucanus just sort of awkwardly, like, plays with, his little hand axe and doesn't know what to do with himself.
Cedric is gonna walk over to Lucanus and be like, "So, hey buddy, how are you feeling this morning? Any better?"
I'm feeling a bit better, still a bit woozy, but yeah, I don't know what the hell that was. That was not me. I mean, it was me, but more in a sort of philosophical sense. That was not the person I intended to be.
Sure. I mean, it happens. We all embarrass ourselves sometimes.
Some more than others.
Yeah. I wasn't gonna say it.
It's okay, that's what Kay's here for.
So are you still down a little bit?
Yeah.
Mechanically wise?
Yes. So remember, during your sleep last night, you should have been able to recover 1 hit point per level, so 3 hit points per person if you were still down from your fight with the orcs. Lucanus, you were not able to recover any of your ability score damage during the night because you were still sick, but you sort of overcame the sickness during the night. So you still have the ability score damage, but you would be able to start recouping that over the next few sleeps, or if Cedric casts a spell on you.
Yeah, so let's see. Where is that on my character sheet?
It should be under, it'll be like a, I think I put it under like the extra modifier or whatever. But you'll be able to see it. Basically, there's a minus, I think, let me pull it up quick. I think you have a minus,
So I still think I have minus dexterity. I don't remember.
Yeah, you still have a -3 to your dex. I think we fixed your con. It looks like your con is fixed. Yeah.
Yeah, I think yesterday I healed the final point to your con. I think I had done 2 before. So I'm gonna try and heal Lucanus's dexterity with a lesser restoration spell.
Okay.
You gain 2 points back to your dexterity.
Okay. Fixing the character sheet to reflect that.
And I imagine that the way my healing feels is a very energizing way of waking up. Yeah.
Lucanus suddenly feels like he's had a bit of coffee. Bit of coffee after a long night of studying.
Hot coffee thrown in your face is what you feel like.
Wowza. Yeah, so that means you're only 1 point of dexterity down right now, which will recover itself if the next time you get a full night's rest, or, you know, if you have another spell cast on you or something like that.
Yeah. Well, thanks for everything, Cedric. That really helps. I'm feeling quite a bit better.
Oh yeah, I mean, of course. Hey, I got your back, man.
I know.
Yeah. We're a team, right? So, you know, gotta pull my weight somehow. Since I can't kill any undead.
Oh. But you did get one.
Yeah, but I mean, should have gotten a lot more. I mean,
to be fair, Cedric, nobody can kill undead because, you know, they're already dead by definition. Isn't that how that works?
You know, there are several schools of thought on
Oh no, please don't stop.
Oh really? Oh yeah.
I would like to hear this.
No one is stopping this.
Oh yeah, no, we are here for this, Cedric.
Oh no, I've got used to Cedric just trailing off in inane rant.
We are here for quality roleplay. You don't get to just trail off and be like, and then he says some stuff. Please.
All right. So, in the early church's writings, the divine created undead were considered to be, by the early followers of Moradin, to be reborn into a new life. Like they had been ensouled with just a new undead soul reanimating the body, and so they were considered to be like re-alive, versus the more arcane body animation spells. Those we consider to not be to be basically an automaton, you know, kind of like a golem or something like that, where the body is still active and moving and may even remember some things about its previous life, but is not actually re-alive. So if it was an arcane animated undead, then we in the Church of Moradin would consider it to be still dead, and thus you could not kill it in a sense. But a divine created undead would be classified as alive again, if you want to think about it. I mean, it's an evil life, obviously, but yeah. I mean, so really it depends on the source creating the undead according to the theology of Moradin. Obviously, the correct theology.
Kay has taken notes.
Fletcher rolls his eyes.
Yeah. Well, I feel like
he is very gamely smiling and nodding.
I feel like Fletcher would poke the theology here and say, well, but Cedric, what about healing and like resurrection spells? Those are technically necromancy of a sort. How do you feel about that?
Well, the church teaches that the different schools of arcane magic are a construct of man, not God. And those divisions are kind of made up. So you can call it whatever you want. I mean, I didn't go to fancy wizard school, so I didn't learn anything about how those lines are drawn, but just because entomology happens to be in the College of Computer and Mathematical Sciences doesn't necessarily mean that it's not a life science. Not that I'm bitter about University of Maryland's departmental structure at all. I'm just saying.
Fletcher says, well, as long as that means you're still willing to like heal us or, save us from dying, I guess that's fine.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, it's not like, I'm just saying that the divisions between the different schools of arcane magic are made up. It's not like good and evil, which are clearly, obviously, an evidential law of nature, right? I'll cast any good spells. It's very cut and dry. I don't know why there's any debate about any of that stuff.
Bless alignment charts. Okay, so apart from this philosophical, theological discussion, what else are you guys doing?
You guys want to stock up on, like, healing potions or anything like that before we go? I'm still looking for another Morning Star to complete my collection.
We're actually pretty well stocked on healing. We've got granola, we've got the healing potions we picked up from the orcs. We're doing all right.
I need arrows. I only have 10.
Did you figure out what kind you need?
The kind that goes in the weapon I have, obviously.
Which is a what?
Arrows. Yes, she needs arrows.
Short bow, whatever that shoots.
Arrows.
So I have a crossbow that I'm borrowing from my dad right now, and he told me that when you buy bolts for a crossbow, they are sold as arrows. You can't, like, when you go to buy ammunition for a crossbow now, they are arrows, which I'm very upset about. Like, because he was like, he called them arrows, and I was like, oh, you mean bolts? And he was like, no, they're just called arrows. And I was like, D&D has lied to me.
Well, no, because they're structurally different is the point here, right? Like, yeah. What you put in a bow versus what you put in a crossbow versus what you put in a ballista are very different things because the weapons are different, but,
Yeah.
Yeah, but now the companies that produce them now just call them all arrows. They're
Lazy.
just crossbow arrows.
Lazy.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Well, we could get into a discussion of how all of those weapons are different when we have someone on who is an expert in ancient weapons. But today is not that day. So stay tuned. Okay, so Kay wants some more arrows. Anybody else want anything?
Morning Star. Second one, so I can do a drum solo on some orcs.
Okay.
I feel like the mouse folk are going to have a Morning Star that's like this big.
I know.
It's like, oh, it's like a meat tenderizer.
But it's so cute. Okay.
How much do arrows cost in a...
Yeah, it sounds like you're looking for the weaponsmithy. So
yes.
Tulip is able to send you in that direction. So scrolling. Okay, so you head over to the weaponsmiths, and Tulip lets you know ahead of time that, like, as you might have guessed from the reactions of some of the Miriam you've already met, like, they are not a very weapon-using, fighting-doing people. So the fact that there is a weaponsmith, like, they're primarily for, like, defensive type things. And yes, they do specialize in things sized for Miriam. So you head to the weaponsmiths and you see a pair of mouse folk that they appear to be siblings, a male and a female. They look very similar. I mean, granted, you're not exceptionally familiar with discerning mouse folk faces yet, but these two definitely look like they're related. They're wearing matching light brown shirts and dark brown pants with woven fiber aprons over, not leather, interestingly. And they're sort of, working on stuff at this little shop area they've got set up. Luckily for you, it's open air, so you don't have to try to go in a building.
Now are these mouse folk monochromatic, or do they have splotchy fur patterns?
They've got sort of like a field mouse where, it's darker pelage on the back and sort of a lighter tummy. Although there is some variation among individuals.
Yeah. Cool.
Pelage is the fancy word for fur.
I was actually wondering about that all last game.
Yeah.
What sort of...
No, it's important. Yeah. So they look very much like actual non-sentient mice. Except that, they have hands with thumbs and stuff like that. So you can you can go up to them if you'd like, Kay, if you're looking for something.
Hey, friends. So I was wondering, so Tulip sent me over to you because apparently you guys specialize in things to, like weapons and stuff. I was wondering if you have any arrows for a short bow, but maybe kind of my sized arrows. I don't know how big your arrows are. She takes one out, show relative size.
So they sort of look you up and down and confer with their heads together for a moment and go, well, you are rather large. But we can make some arrows for you custom. How many would you like?
20?
Okay. Yeah. That's a gold piece. You can pick them up in an hour. They're pretty fast to make. We'll just get some longer sticks.
All right. Thanks, team.
We also have a few magic weapons if you're interested. Those actually technically change size to fit whoever's wielding them. So it doesn't matter if they're mouse folk sized right now.
Did anyone else come with me on this adventure? Or
I don't think anyone did.
All right.
Lucanus came because he said he wanted a Morning Star.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lucanus just sort of gets a really excited look in his eyes, and he's like, "Do you have one of these?" And he holds up his Morning Star.
Holy crap, that's huge. No, we don't.
What magic weapons do you have?
Well, so we've got this, and they pull down off of sort of it's not a wall, but sort of the rack that is the side of this open air stall, a shield, and lay it on the counter in front of you. So we've got this. So it helps protect you from especially nasty hits. Mechanically, it gives you a 25% chance that any critical hits on you will not be critical. But you have to be able to wield a shield. So there's that. And then we've got this.
Kay just turns around. She's like, Cedric! Cedric!
And then we've got this, and one of them pulls out an interesting looking dagger. This one's nasty. It's kind of one of those weird things that Sextus just decided he would experiment with. But it's a really, really nasty dagger. And then we've got these, and they sort of go into a barrel kind of off to the side and pull out an armful of familiar looking yellow-green arrows.
Hey, I've got one of these. What does it do? I shot one at a zombie or something, or some dead thing. It was complicated because we were in battle, and battle is scary, right? But it didn't do anything. What is this?
You shot a zombie? That's so cool.
Yes. I didn't kill it though, because it did literally nothing to it. So
that zombie thing happens more than you would think.
That's a little frightening. These are arrows of biting. So they do poison damage.
Oh, yeah. Explain probably why it didn't work.
Well, it's also why they're yellow-green, because then it's it's aposematism.
I found it! I found it in a cavern temple thing full of dead dudes, I think. Yes.
There were no dead dudes in there. There were just spiders.
There were sarcophagi with dead dudes in it.
Coffins.
There weren't just like bodies on the floor. Yes, there were bodies.
No, it was not a drowning pool situation.
I would like to clarify that I did not take these out of a dead person's hand. They just dead people and arrows happen to be in the same underground area.
It's very important
for clarification.
That we clarify that these two
steal from the dead.
Eyes wide, just
Whoa!
like,
All right. To be clear, you
guys?
did steal from the dead, just not the arrows. You stole other stuff from the dead.
I stole nothing from them.
Lucanus sort
the
of
jewelry?
like.
Nobody took the jewelry.
No.
Really?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Ha!
Lucanus sort of like pulls up his armor a little bit. He's like, I took this from a dead person.
Cool.
Yeah, that is true. We have actually taken a lot of stuff from dead people, but they were dead people that we made ourselves. So there are dead people, not somebody else's dead people.
Are you there?
Sorry.
Yeah. Are you there, Cedric?
I mean, you can be. I'm just.
No.
He
I'm
did
not.
call over
I'm
to Cedric.
Did
So
call you over.
Okay. Don't forget.
If you wanted to be there.
The party also has another shield that was gifted to you. So you can make some choices. But yeah, so those are the magic items that the weaponsmiths have available to you.
How much
What does
are
the
the
dagger do?
poison arrows?
The arrows of biting are 500 gold per. Because they're fancy.
They are super fancy. Unfortunately, I am poor, so
Sell the one you've got.
I don't want to sell the one I've got. I want to use the one I've got.
500 gold. I could buy that sweet shield if you did. Now I'm here.
Wait, since you guys know about magical items, she like pulls out the red arrow. She's like, what does this one do? It screams when you shoot it. And I also think I shot it at a zombie, so it didn't do anything, but it made a really scary noise.
They sort of take it and they look at it from all different angles between the two of them, and they confer again, and they go, I mean, it's a very nice, well-crafted arrow. Not sure what it does. We don't actually make magic weapons. Like, we can make really nice weapons, but, like, an enchanter has to enchant magic weapons. But, like, if Sextus magic's something that we've made, like, we often sell it here, because, like, this is where someone would go to buy a weapon. But some of these things other people have sold to us, right? So, yeah, we don't really know much about, like, the magic part, unfortunately.
How much is that dagger of doom?
The vicious dagger is 4,300 gold.
Sounds like I'm about 3,999 short. Keep y'all in mind, though. I'll take those arrows.
That was very specific. The regular arrows.
The regular one.
Yeah, if you come back in like an hour, we'll have those done. No problem.
Perfect.
Cool.
Cedric, I don't think you'll be able to buy that shield even if I sold my poison arrow.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
The shield is 2,000 gold if you're interested.
Why is the dagger more? What does it do?
It's very fancy. It deals like an energy attack to your victim, and also to you, which is not great, but it deals more to the victim than to you. So, you know. That's why it's called vicious.
Can you guys enchant stuff?
No. We just make
No.
really nice
Sextus
weapons.
does that. Weren't you just
Sextus
listening?
Yeah.
Oh, they said that they were messing around with enchantments, and I just figured I'd ask. I'd rather ask a dumb question than not have an answer.
Fair enough.
Fair enough.
And with you, Lucanus, they're all dumb questions.
Ooh, don't shame the
She's-
science.
She's not wrong.
Okay, that was. I
Come
thought
back
you
in
were
an
gonna
hour,
say
I guess?
something, but okay.
Yep,
I was
nope,
like,
we
all
are.
right, thanks, team. I'll be back in an hour or so and get the arrows. She like hands over the gold for the arrows. Thanks. Make sure to use extra long sticks, right?
Absolutely. Yep.
Slightly taller, yeah.
As we walk out of the weaponsmith, Cedric is going to say to the group, so I'm thinking maybe we should start trying to accumulate money? Feel like that would be beneficial long run? Does that sound like a good plan to you guys?
Yeah?
I've been trying to accumulate money my entire life.
You do have party gold.
Do we have 4,000 party gold?
I don't know. Fletcher's been keeping track.
Oh, yes. Has he?
Yes.
The one number I have written down is 590 that came along with wherever the perfectly spheroid blue gem was, I think.
Yep, that's what I have.
Oddly enough, I don't think that Ryan gave me all of his money to spend.
What a surprise.
I know.
Well, it's not his money, it's y'all's money.
It is technically party money.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Group money 590. He does have that written down. He does also have his own money.
Oh,
He's more than I do.
Okay.
Lucanus is just happy to be along for the ride. Oh, wait. What about that gold armband?
What about the gold armband?
How much is that worth?
The one you have?
Yeah.
That you personally have? I don't think anybody has tried to appraise it or anything.
Oh, Lucanus just sort of like pulls the gold armband out of his backpack and he's like, "Hey Cedric, how much do you think this is worth?"
You know what to do.
I do. That is a 16.
A 16. So yeah, it's a nice, it's simple. It's not very elaborate looking, but a nice, simple, seems like solid gold, like armband thing. You would estimate just based on like the amount of gold in it, it's probably worth several hundred, but you're not really sure like what the purpose is, why someone would have this or wear this. I mean, maybe it's ceremonial, maybe it's decorative.
Okay. And does it have an engraving on it? I don't remember this particular armband.
No.
Okay. Just solid piece. Okay. Yeah. Definitely a couple of hundred gold. I'm not sure. I mean, probably depends on market value. Honestly, I don't know what the Nemurium, how much they value gold. So, I mean,
they like shiny things.
They do like shiny things, but I mean, like the craftsmanship's not amazing. I mean, it's like it doesn't have any like interesting carvings or anything like that on it. So it's really not that much better than just kind of I mean, you're basically gonna get its weight in its value in weight. That's what I'm saying.
So
you're
it's not
gonna
give us 1,000 or anything like that.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna buy you a new magic shield.
No, I was hoping to get that dagger for K, but
oh yeah. I feel like even if we pooled all of our money, we couldn't buy that dagger. Although it doesn't sound great. I mean,
it's not. I'm hard-pressed to find a situation where I'd use it, to be honest.
Kay's already hesitant enough about using her her melee weapons. I don't think she needs another disincentive.
Right, so the vicious modifier on a weapon, it causes, so when you hit with it, it causes a flash of energy that deals 2d6 damage to the victim and 1d6 damage to the wielder.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, well.
What if you throw it?
That's a great question. I don't know. I haven't read into it. I'm going to guess that since it's a flash of energy, it probably hurts both of you regardless, because that's the point of the vicious tag.
But if you throw it, where is that energy going? Does it cross the entire battlefield? What if I throw it 60 feet? Is it just going to
It's magic.
Is it like a grenade situation?
It's formed a link to your soul.
Also, you can't actually throw a dagger that far. I want to say that the range increment is only 10 feet or something.
I can throw a dagger more than 10 feet.
Okay. You go talk to Wizards of the Coast about making their range increments on their weapons more accurate.
I'm gonna email them right now.
Okay, you do that.
Tune in next week to our show where Peter throws magical weapons in real life to see what kind of damage.
I mean, we could do that.
I have a throwing dagger. I could go get it right now.
Don't throw it at my wall. Don't throw it inside.
Throw it inside. Do it.
This room is about 10 feet. So if I stood on top of my laptop and threw it across the room.
You have to aim for your picture so it looks like you pinned it on your wall.
Okay.
My big pelicanid.
Oh God, we need like a magical weapon that when you stab somebody with it, not like slash them, but actually stab somebody with it, it tells you like where they're from and where they were collected.
A label appears on acid paper.
3 labels, right? Because you have to have there's like different information on each one.
Yeah.
Anyway,
collected by Lucanus.
And it provides the date.
GPS location
and
or doesn't count.
GPS location. And the habitat in which it was found. Okay, moving on.
Yeah, write it down.
Joe just like every few episodes is like, you know what would be a great magic item? There was one time where you were like, you know what would be a great cursed item? And I was like, why would you tell me that?
Because I like making up cursed items.
Spear, I feel like, would be the right.
Yeah. Just a whole sword of 2020.
Mm-hmm. Now I was just thinking like a stainless steel spear, like you don't want the Teflon coated one, because that's gonna go to shit after 100 years. But
yeah. Plus, I feel like hanging on to a Teflon coated weapon, you might end up like throwing it accidentally during battle, and it doesn't seem like that would increase its damage. Anyways, so
we'd also have to consider what size enemy would be reasonable to point mount, right?
That's what the Tanglefoot patch is for.
Yes.
If we ever use that.
So is it like small creatures, which I think Nautia is technically a small creature.
Right,
or would
exactly.
It
like Nautia would be point mounted, and Lucanus would just have a big thick pin through him.
Yeah.
Okay. So now
but
that
if we
we've
have
gotten
anybody,
Ding!
but I mean Fletcher, since he's kind of squishy and ill-armored, would he be like in a vial?
In a vial? I thought you were going there. Like a spider. Or a caterpillar. Oh gosh. Okay, so now that you've done that and you have an hour to murder until Kay is ready to go pick up her arrows.
Well, we're not gonna murder these people.
It was a play on hour to kill, but you know what I mean.
Oh,
anyway.
Yeah. Well, anywho. So yeah, we're just
breakfast
hanging
drinks?
out.
Breakfast drinks? Breakfast are up?
But I'm okay, thanks.
I feel like I've already done enough damage to this town. Ooh, I wonder what kind of potions that they have that we could use. Not like healing potions, but like battle potions.
Battle potions. Did you want to go back to the apothecary and see what she has?
Yeah, let's go back to the apothecary, see what you guys want to come with.
Nothing else to do.
Sure.
All right.
Okay, so you head back to the apothecary where Tulip introduced you to Batusia yesterday. The door is closed, but, there are people moving around in the town, so yeah, you can knock. And she says, "Come on in, it's open."
I don't think we can come in. Or...
I've already had a bad experience.
Oh, it's you! So she opens the door and you can see she's still got the same faded pink dress on and it still appears to be inside out. And
Kay, leans over. She's like, "I'm trying to help you out. Girl, your dress is inside out. You might want to fix that."
"Oh, is it?" And she looks down and she's like, "I mean, it looks fine, right?"
I think it looks good.
It's fine.
And she's like, "Well, how are all of you today? Are you feeling better? You don't have any more fur than you had yesterday, but are you, I don't know if that means you're feeling worse or better, or I don't know. You all are very confusing, but also interesting."
I tend not to grow fur. So does Lucanus grow a 5 o'clock shadow? I don't know how elf physiology works.
I mean, that's up to you, man.
I will consider that for future episodes.
I also have to consider the placement of the scars and how that might affect it, but anyway.
Yeah. So he holds out his hand axe and his dagger, and he's like, "So I have these. And I was wondering if there was any way that I could like make these more useful if we run into any more trouble. Like,
and she sort of listens to them and she's like, those are very big weapons. I'm not sure what you mean about making them more useful, though.
No, I mean like poison or, like adding more damage to these things because they're small and throwable, and it seems like...
Poisons aren't really a thing I do. But I mean, it seems like the sort of thing that you could apply to a weapon like that to make it more useful, but I don't really have any poisons, but, yeah.
Just, like, what kind of potions do you have that we could, like, use if we were to run into any more orcs?
I don't think she heard about the orcs, did she?
Did she?
I don't know what that is, but, well, I have some potions. I have some Cure Light Wounds potions, and I have some Cure Moderate Wounds potions, and I have some potions that'll allow you to hide from animals, and I have some potions that'll allow you to endure elements, and I have some oil that will make stones magical, and I have a potion of Shield of Faith. And I think that's it right now. She's like, kind of like looking over her shoulder into the shop. And I mean, of course, also I have like, like tinctures and salves and, other like sort of more mundane medical stuff. But it sounded like you were looking for magic items. I could be wrong. Maybe you were just looking for like, some hand lotion or something. Chapstick?
Chapstick! Yes! It's hot out here. Those grasslands, man, it's brutal. I'll take some chapstick.
Sunscreen?
Yeah, that too.
Oh man,
Sold.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
Cedric probably spent like his first
sober.
So pasty.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to
He definitely
through that.
has like a zinc oxide thing on his nose.
Except
like
it's
a white
just like
stripe.
a piece of zinc rock. It's not like
He does
like strapped on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I was imagining more like a Coke powder nose.
No.
Like
'Cause
underneath
you
my
would have-
nose?
Because you would have to, like, climbing
the-
shock almost.
No, the beard is a really great UV
Yeah.
protector.
Actually,
so this
it
part
is.
of his face is not sunburned.
Oh my
it's just
God.
his nose and his forehead are just like bright red.
Yeah,
all the
but
time
like
and
if you
peeling
guys
constantly.
shaved his beard now, like while he was asleep or something, he would look ridiculous because it'd be so white. Like
That would be not a good idea. I'm just gonna go ahead and throw that out there.
it'd be very funny though.
We could pull a Firefly and
never sleep
Lucianus
again.
like sneaks into his tent and like shaves his beard and like glues it onto his face.
No, it's a bet. So next time we run across undead, if Cedric can't cure them or like fix them in the first round, we get to shave his beard. Make Morden proud. Also save your facial hair.
Yeah, that's not gonna be a thing that happens.
Oh my god. I know this. He would lose his shit if he lost his beard. Anyway, so yeah, those are the things she has. She can certainly sell you some chapstick.
Alright.
And those are the potions that she has available. Or if you want like ye olde aspirin or sunscreen or whatever, she's got that too.
I don't know. I don't feel like there's anything that I could use, but it sounds like, that this stuff is, the hiding from animals thing is more Kay's stuff and the healing stuff is Cedric's domain, so I'll let you guys make the decisions.
Does my shiny skin protect me from sun? Right? Because like it's like reflective, right? So wouldn't it like reflect the UV rays back?
Sure. Yes.
Built-in sunscreen.
But you do have a bug problem out here in the prairie. Like you're so shiny that there are a lot of bugs that are attracted to it.
They just think that Kay is water.
Dragonfly try to lay eggs on my head.
Yeah,
That's exactly what I was thinking.
That happened to my friend. We were in the swimming pool and a dragonfly came out. He's like, "What's going on?" I was like, "I think a dragonfly just like literally laid an egg in your hair." And he did. He pulled it out. It was like this little egg. Hilarious.
Aw,
Lovely.
that's magical. All right. Well,
So yeah, did any of those potions sound interesting to you? Cure light wounds, cure moderate wounds, hide from animals, endure elements, magic stone oil, or shield of faith potion.
What does the magic stone oil do?
It makes stones magical.
Yeah, but what kind of magic?
If you have stone bullets for a sling, you can dip them or shake them up in this oil, and it will make them magical. as like the effect of the spell Magic Stone.
How much is that?
It's 50 gold.
Am I the only one that uses a sling?
I think so.
Mm-hmm.
What about like
No,
the
but
head
the other
of
one's
a...
not with you at the moment.
No, he has a crossbow. Which,
Yeah.
point of order, I re-looked up the rules, and it takes longer for you to reload a crossbow than it does for you to load a regular bow, which is the difference. So from now on, we're going to try to use the rules more correctly. So you don't get to shoot arrows as often as Kay does because of the difference in the bows. But anyway.
Well, and the...
being Fletcher?
Fletcher and Lucanus both have crossbows.
And I have a heavy crossbow,
Indeed.
which takes an entire turn to reload.
Yeah.
So basically, if I use a crossbow in battle, it's to hit a big target and, have some damage on an important target before we get into battle.
Right, but my point of order was that none of us had been playing it as it takes extra time to reload, even though you're supposed to.
Okay, I
so
see.
That's what I'm saying, is that going forward, we all need to remember that rule, because that's the difference between the bows.
Has Lucanus ever used his crossbow, though? I feel like Lucanus is more of a run-in and
I don't remember.
chop.
No. I've been kind of... I have the crossbow out, as I said, just in case there's like one enemy that looks really big. That way I can get some damage on it before we, surprise it a little bit before we run into battle. Because I'd rather, have an enemy be like 5-10 points down before, engaging in person.
Mm. Okay. So yeah, magic stone oil. Anything else?
No, as I said, I think that all that stuff is like the hiding from animals thing could come in useful for Kay, and the magic stone oil is more for Cedric, and yada yada yada.
Why would I hide from animals?
You've got some really great stuff here. I don't think it's anything that we need right now, but it's really cool. I've never actually seen that magic stone oil before, so that's like neat. But thanks for showing us around. It's been good chatting with you again.
Yeah.
We gotta go pick up some arrows, so we will see you later.
Okay. Have fun and better luck on your adventures. I don't really know what you do. But yeah.
We don't really know what we do either.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. Have a good time doing whatever that is then. Bye.
Okay. As we're walking away. So should we like stock up on food or something?
It's a good idea.
I mean, what do these mouse people eat? Do you want grasshoppers?
I'll eat grasshoppers. I'll eat pretty much anything.
Those were delicious. I am very on board for more of those grasshoppers. Do you think they're good cold?
I don't think they're good at all, but
I mean, we gotta eat.
Okay, if you don't like the grasshoppers, I have some relatively fresh mice, or whatever it was that I caught in my snake. I think I caught a snake.
Snake jerky.
Yeah,
you have a snake and a ground squirrel.
Yeah, I have a relatively fresh chipmunk and a snake.
I might become a vegetarian.
Which, by the way, that is a great shirt idea. Just I have a relatively fresh chipmunk.
Oh wow, Cindy's reaction was worth it.
Ask me about my relatively
context,
fresh...
weird thing on a t-shirt. Always a great idea.
So many t-shirts, so little time.
Ask me about my relatively fresh chipmunks.
And
you just have like a chipmunk with sunglasses, but not like one of the Alvin and the chipmunks, just like a biologically accurate chipmunk with like cool shades.
Had a live chipmunk in my house for several hours earlier this week, so that was exciting.
How nice for you.
yeah, it was very fresh.
All right.
So I guess we go back to the. Has it been an hour yet? I guess we should go buy food.
Yeah, you could go buy food.
Yeah, let's just stock up on general supplies, off screen.
I'll get some grasshopper free trail mix.
Yeah, so Marcia, the innkeeper, like, she has food available, and you can buy meals or rations from her. And the rations do include insects, but there's also, like, seeds and dried berries and stuff in there, so...
That sounds
it's like
great.
Gorp. You can just pick it out.
Yeah.
Pick out the stuff you don't want.
Like
I'll
the
take
raisins,
your.
yeah.
Nancy, I'll take your. Kay, I'll take your bugs, bug bits.
Bug bits.
Yeah.
I'm
I'll trade you
fine
like
with
the big brown nuts for your bug bits. Does that sound good?
Fair. 100% on it.
I'll also have some of those grasshoppers. I've eaten a lot of insects in my time.
Okay. So it is 5 silver per day's worth of trail rations, so you can math as many of those as you would like. 5 silver is half a gold. So
How long do you guys think we're gonna be out here?
We've been out here for like 2 months already.
Yeah. So there's 5 of us. Yeah. I feel like we should get, I'm gonna say, a week's worth of rations. How far? We're heading to the mountains. How many? Cindy is shaking her head no.
It wasn't the mountains. It was the desert.
Well, that's what comes next. You don't know where you're
headed.
headed. You just know that there are mountains and a desert.
Right. But we're okay. All right. Yeah, I remember this very specific. Like, Fletcher was wrong about which direction we were headed. We are headed in the direction of the mountains, right?
But if we're going out into a desert,
or are we headed in the direction of the desert?
Okay, so what Nautia was able to see is that right now you are heading parallel with the mountains, because what the mountains do is that where they start, kind of after the foothills where you were, they start and they go kind of straight north, and then they curve and they go northeast. So like right now you're sort of traveling in parallel with them, but like soon they're gonna kind of like start to curve. So eventually they will be north of you, but not now. So what is directly north of the grasslands is what turns out to be desert, according to Appius.
Okay.
We are definitely going to need some water.
Do we know how many? Do any of the Miriam know? I mean, I know they don't range very far, but I know they at least avoid the desert because that's where the lizard people are that they don't like, right? The Raptorans, aren't they in the no?
In the mountains.
You're pitying me. They're in the mountains. Okay. So we're not headed towards the Raptorans.
Not right
Okay. At least as far as we know. Okay. I'm going to say I think we should get like a week's worth of rations.
Okay.
I'd
Use
say
that
more like a
party money.
month.
It'll go bad. What are you talking about?
I mean, rations are like, when we say rations, we're basically talking about MREs, aren't we?
Yeah, like that's the intent behind trail rations in D&D, is that yes, this is something that probably will last longer than you need it to. Yeah.
So it's Vegemite.
Yeah, pick your
Spam.
indestructible food stuff. That's what it is. Yeah.
Twinkies.
Twinkies. Oh my god, Kay is eating Twinkies.
Okay,
I'm down for this. And you got a sweet pastry.
I'd say that, you know, given the amount of time that we've been out here, we need at least a month's worth of rations, preferably 2. That's Lucanus's vote.
So 2 months would be 60 days. That is 150 gold. Two months?
I think my months only have 28 days in them.
Okay.
Let me check.
You would know more than I.
Wrong. I'm pretty sure they only have 28 days. I gave you a calendar. Oh. I made up month names and day names. Yes, they all only have 28 days in them.
Okay. So 28 times 5 silver is 140.
I mean,
divided by 2 is 70.
We can
70 gold?
That would be for one person, yeah.
Oh, but we have like 5 people.
Right.
All right. Well,
like I said, a week.
Wait. 28 days times 5 silver. Yes, 5 yes. Okay, yes. Thank you. Yeah.
I mean, It depends on how much we think that it depends on how much success we think that we're going to have, like, finding stuff and foraging and all that.
So 1 month's worth of gold would be 350. 1 month's worth of rations would be 350 gold. We have 590 in the party purse.
Yeah, let's just hunt.
Why don't we buy a week's worth of rations?
I'm not eating whatever crazy snake he manages to catch.
Yeah,
It's
and
like
we'll
playing
just
Amazon Trail, where you're like, I don't know, man. How much food should I bring?
You know what?
like 1 week's worth of rations, 1 spare wagon wheel,
Yeah.
200 feet of rope.
Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and mark off
Especially given
17
you know
and a
you're
half.
headed for a desert.
Yeah, and that was my thing. If we're going to the desert, we're going to need water. I think water is going to be a bigger deal than food.
Do you want to buy a spare water skin?
Yeah, let's get a spare water skin, because I already have one, and it seems like it would be a good idea to get another.
I will not make you have to buy a mouse-sized water skin. You can have a regular person-sized one. But a water skin is 1 gold piece.
Okay. So how much would... No, let's just do a week's worth of rations and extra water, because the water is a bigger deal than the food. Because we can always hunt and forage.
Am I taking this out of party funds?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So 1 gold each for an extra water skin.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. So you have rations and you have extra water skins. What now?
Seems like we're pretty much good
Onward.
to go.
Onward. Okay, so you're gonna say farewell to Tulip and
Oh,
peace out?
actually, you know what? Would I be able to get 20 more crossbow bolts?
Yeah.
All right. I already have 40, but if we're gonna be hunting, it seems like it would be a good idea to have that extra buffer. So.
Sure. Heavy crossbow bolts. It's 1 gold for 10.
All right. Yeah. Yep. All right. Cool. So that brings me to 59 crossbow bolts.
Also what?
While they were shopping, I wanted to go forage.
Okay.
I would have checked in with Tulip first to make sure there wasn't anything I shouldn't get into, and then go look for things to eat.
She just says, "Don't step on the pot bugs."
All right.
So, yeah. Don't throw that at your wall.
I would not.
Okay. Yeah. Anything else?
I think we're good.
Okay. Where are you going now?
I don't know. Nautia's the one that seems to have a good idea of where we need to be heading to.
Well, that's the way we were going to follow the river, so I guess we keep going that way.
All right, let's keep going that way.
Okay.
I'll do a looky-loo before we take off. Make sure there's nothing obvious right around the corner.
Sure.
And Lucanus draws his crossbow to provide some cover for her as she goes up.
Okay.
I just want to point out that was like our quickest shopping trip ever.
Yeah, I'm impressed.
Yeah.
Well, there was no clothing involved, so.
It's because Cedric didn't buy anything.
Yeah.
Shit.
How's that looky-loo roll going for you?
That's a big 10.
Okay. Yeah, so it is kind of an overcast day. It's a little breezy up here once you get up off the ground and above the protection of the plants. But yeah, you mostly just see prairie stretching out in front of you. Doesn't seem to be anything remarkable as far as you can tell.
Doesn't look like anything's changed. I guess we'll just keep going that way.
All right, cool. So I guess we head off.
Okay. So you spend the day walking, I guess. You're just continuing north. I'll need, well, how would you like to, I guess, make sure that you stay on track?
He's never been out here. She had no idea.
I'm kind of depending on Nautia as our kind of guide, since she's the one who can do the aerial surveillance. I'm also keeping track of if there's anything that I could hunt or shoot. Like here in Wyoming, we have antelope all over the place. So
okay.
D&D definitely should have given some different species the ability to see polarized light, because you could navigate doing that, and that would be badass.
Yeah, it certainly
Where's
would.
the polarized light vision? Check that box.
How does that work?
I definitely have some questions about the visible spectra for Lucanus versus Cedric versus K.
Humans can see polarized light.
Yeah, but we can't navigate on it like bees do.
No, that's true.
Yeah.
So what good does
How
it
does
do
that
us?
work, though?
I'm not a physicist. I'm not.
Well, I know how polarization works, but how does it? Do they just see?
Yeah.
They've got something in the eye that makes them see that separate.
Nautia
Yeah,
Basically,
like
you can
that.
tell where the sun is even when it's cloudy.
Yeah, but also
can tell,
Nautia being
Okay.
Direction the light is coming from, even if it's not from a point.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Okay.
Nautia being from the water plane, she'd be able to see further into the blue than probably Lucanus or Fletcher or K, and then I would expect Cedric to just maybe be able to have overall enhanced sensitivity to all wavelengths. It's something we can get into in a nature chat sometime.
Let me just go ahead and say that cats don't have dark vision in D&D, so we can basically assume that all vision is BS.
Well,
in D&D.
So I can see polarized light.
Very
Awesome.
handy,
Done.
baby.
but so dark vision is more of a magical something or other, right? Because do cats have? I don't remember if they have low light vision or not. But because
we all know cats are magical.
because of the why can't I remember the name for the thing right now? The thing that makes eye shine in animals like dogs and cats and alligators and deer and whatever.
The retina?
No.
Yeah, that's
no.
just reflectance.
Right, but there's a thing in the eye that causes that reflectance because we don't have it, right? I don't remember what it's called right now. I'm really embarrassed that I can't remember it. But yeah, so that, what? Oh, the tapetum lucidum, or tapetum lucidum. Thank you. Thank you, studio audience. Studio audience. But yeah, the tapetum lucidum reflects light back, so basically they get a second shot at using that light to see, and we don't have that. But that's sort of what I imagine low light vision does. Dark vision is more of a magical effect, but not so magical that you can see in magical darkness, if that makes sense. You can just see in normal darkness. But dark vision does not give you color vision. So if you're seeing in the dark, in mundane dark with dark vision, you only get black and white, outlines of stuff, which is great because your cones don't work in the dark anyway.
Low light vision doesn't exist in 5th edition. So cats do have low light vision in 3.5, but in 5th edition, they just have nothing.
Yeah.
Does anybody get echolocation?
Yeah, there are lots of animals and non-animal creatures that get echolocation, or there's also something called tremor sense, which is the ability to just feel vibrations in the earth. I think a bullet or a purple worm or something would have tremor sense. Yeah.
Okay.
So we just fought a purple worm in another campaign that I'm playing.
Nice.
And so this came up. Our cleric cast silence on the area around the purple worm. So purple worms are these giant purple worms that are blind, but they have tremor sense, which means they can feel vibrations through the ground, like the worms in Dune. So our cleric cast silence, thinking it won't be able to hear people. And according to the official rules, yes, you can't hear in a cone of silence, but you can still sense vibrations through the ground. And so anybody who has a very basic understanding of physics knows that sound is vibrations in air, and so silence should affect all vibrations, right? But apparently it's, according to the official rules, you can still feel vibrations, which raises some really interesting questions, I guess, about what silence is actually doing. Well, it's like, you could say, like, silence is not actually silencing the sound, but it's like maybe inhibiting everybody's ability to sense the sound. Like, you could still, like,
but it's
feel
not. It's
That
not just an inhibiting
sense.
sense, because you can't cast a spell that requires a verbal component. Or, I mean, you waste a spell that has a verbal component in a area of silence, right? So I guess it also brings up, like, the properties of sound, right? Because, like, sound is actually your brain interpreting vibrations. So, like, even someone who has some sort of hearing impairment or a total loss of hearing can still feel vibrations. So you could call that tremor sense, right? That, like, you can still feel vibrations in a surface or in water or something, even if you can't hear the sound of that vibration, right? So, like, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
But like,
I feel like silence wouldn't work on the worm, but it might work on, like, a bat that's using echolocation sound waves.
Well, what it sounds like to me that spell does is it more or less just gives whatever you cast it on audio processing problems, because I'm going through this right now in some of my occupational therapy. Like, what they do is they just sort of play conversations and background noise, and what they're trying to do is they're trying to figure out my threshold as to where, like, the background noise actually drowns out the sound. And I literally, there's a certain, like, if there's a lot of conversations going on, I literally can't interpret language.
Well, it's not a lack of being able to interpret. It's literally just an absence of noise. So, like, I had the last bad guy, the only caster you guys have encountered so far. She cast silence on her wolf zombie companion thing, and it ran into your area, and Fletcher lost a spell because he tried to cast something with a verbal component. And so within an area of silence, no sound, anyone within an area of silence, not just the person it's cast on, anyone within an area of silence cannot hear anything happening in that area or anything outside of that area, so it's like a bubble. And anyone outside of that area cannot hear anything happening within that area.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I'll have to think on that a little bit more.
Yeah, so mechanically, the thing that makes the most sense is, like, that there's some kind of lack of movement in the air, right? That, like, there's some change to the air that prevents it from, like, that you know, sound is not actually silent, but is, like, muffled to an imperceptible level. Which,
well, so then you could get into, like, so that would make sense in the purple worm situation, that the worm has tremor sense, which works in the ground, right? Like, that's what tremor sense is for, right? So then you could just say, oh, well, the effect of the silence spell is on the air, but then we get into the question of, like, does silence work underwater?
I don't know. That's a great question.
Yeah.
Because sounds underwater work so differently already because of how much thicker the medium is. Yeah. Well,
hopefully we get a chance to try that out.
We'll have to answer these questions before we try it out, so that we all are on the same page, so that nobody tries a strategy that then doesn't work for them. Yeah.
All right, so we are walking.
Okay.
Nautia, what do you see?
My question for you with navigation is, are you just trying to go north? Are you trying to follow the, you know, like, basically, are you trying to draw a straight line from that underwater river mouth thing you found north? Or are you just sort of trying to approximate? Like, what's the story here? Because you actually have gotten off of that straight line when you left. That straight line was basically very near the Monarda patch, and you went left to the west to get into the Monarda patch, and then you came east to go to Flos Agri. So you would have to navigate yourself back to that line, or you could just approximate your way north in general. It's up to you.
I mean, we're going to have to approximate our way north because we're trying to follow an underground river, and, you know, that river being underground is very difficult to follow.
Was there any kind of landmark that I saw in that direction when I originally, was sort of looking like, here's the river, that's the way we're going?
Unfortunately not.
Because it was just big empty desert, right? And it's
well, I
big
mean,
and covers a good chunk of the horizon.
You saw a big sort of homogeneous grassland, and then you could see the shine of something, which you have now been told is desert. But yeah, you couldn't really like that was so far away you couldn't really process like what it was, just that it reflected the light differently.
Yeah. Then in that case, I would probably want to start by going back to where we left that path, because that's the only way that's the only way Nautia can think of to do it.
Okay. So whoever would like to navigate you back to that path can give me a survival check.
I can do that.
So many volunteers.
Cedric is I'm thinking probably still shorter than the grass.
Yeah.
So like not super helpful with perceiving anything. So he's just like following.
I mean, would I be able
Lucanus.
to see it? Would I be able to see it?
See what?
The shiny thing.
Retracing our path.
The shiny thing? It's not a shiny...
No, Oh, you... Continue, say what you're saying.
Yeah, it's not that there's a shiny object. It's she flew very high up in the air and got a natural 20 on her perception, which means she was able to see very far because of how high up she flew, that she was able to get sort of like a long distance look at the landscape. Your 6 foot plus a few inches self is not going to be able to see very far through the grassland. Yeah.
All right. So how do I roll a survival check?
Using the survival skill. Are you helping Nautia?
Yeah.
If you'd like to assist her, you can
I hope so.
Okay.
Oh. Okay, so I'm looking on the character sheet, and I found the place where it says survival ranks.
You just hit the D20 button next to the skill.
Well, it's not really a D20. I think I found where you edit that.
There's
Joe, stop editing your character sheet. You're not allowed to do that.
I'm not.
Only Sheryl's allowed to edit your character sheet.
I'm not trying to.
Can I just roll with advantage?
Well, so no, we don't do advantage in this game. Okay. So if you go to your skill and you find survival and you look all the way to the right, there's a little D20 symbol. Yeah.
Yep. No, I was in a different place.
I see. And 11. Nautia, what did you get?
Oh, I got 5.
Oh, 5. Okay, so between the two of you working, you feel pretty confident that you're on the right track. You got yourselves back to where you were.
I feel less confident about that.
Only because you know what the numbers were.
I don't know.
Nancy feels very unconfident about that.
Yeah, and then you point yourselves north again, and off you go.
Perfect.
Yep. Nautia maybe seems a little bit spaced out this morning.
I mean, yeah, that's fine.
So,
Nautia, had you had alcohol before? I mean, I guess that depends on what kind of party
you got trapped in another dimension while partying.
Yeah.
You definitely had alcohol before.
I feel like I also only drank one.
Okay,
I didn't drink much, and then followed these goobers around while they were drunk all night.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Didn't drink any hangover.
Although that would have been the first alcoholic beverage you've had in 100 years, so...
No, I mean,
I've been hanging out here for 100 years. Yeah. This is where I came to party.
Yeah, but in the woods by yourself.
She wasn't by herself all the time.
I have friends in the woods.
One, that is an interesting question. If she wasn't by herself, who does she know? But also, if she's partying, it's very possible to go to a party or a rave and not have alcohol and still get very messed up.
That's true. You don't know who her friends are, but that is theoretically possible.
She's been eating weird mushrooms in the woods for the last 100 years.
I'm just saying, there's a lot of cool fruit and stuff in the
licking frogs.
Licking frogs.
Any kind of things can be.
Nautia, I feel like your friends are a bad influence.
Nautia's liver.
This is not a conversation we're actually having.
No.
Yeah, no, it's not because God.
Y'all don't know anything.
No, y'all haven't asked what she was doing in the woods. Actually.
No,
we have not.
No one's asked.
We should ask that at some point.
But when we met our Myconid friend, she sure did seem pretty enthusiastic about some of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
All right. So what are you doing anything while you're walking? You just walking?
As I said, I'm looking for potential animals we could incorporate into our rations.
Okay, give me a perception check.
Battle that I can feel is coming up.
Sorry, what did
With
you
an
say?
Antelope?
What did you say, Nancy?
I'm just waiting for the impending battle I can feel is coming up.
Wait.
Got doom sense?
Mm-hmm.
I don't see perception on here.
It's one we added. It's at the very bottom of the skill section.
Oh, there we go. Profession.
Nope, it's at the very bottom. It's not
very,
on the
very
alphabetical
bottom.
stuff.
There we go.
Awesome. Okay, 15. So you see some, but they are rather distant. You imagine that your party is maybe not quiet enough for you to, like, just haphazardly sneak up on something. Yeah. Like, this might be the sort of thing that requires, like, an intentional hunting excursion in order to accomplish, because, yeah, you're just sort of... The 5 of you are traipsing through the plants, doing a lot of crunchies and a lot of clankies, and, you know... Yeah. So
No,
yeah, you do see some, they're just distant.
Let's just wait to hunt, after we set up camp.
Okay.
There's stuff around, we can do it later.
So
I'm also going to keep an eye out for edible things.
Okay.
Not animal.
So what?
So are we just assuming that we're basically heading perpendicular to the river where the polluted liquid was coming out, right? So we're just kind of assuming that the river is like a straight line in perpendicular to the river, right? Not that I have a better idea. I'm just clarifying that that's the direction we're heading, right?
Is that not a good idea?
I guess actually I was going to say I have no idea about underground rivers, but actually Cedric might have an idea about underground rivers.
I mean, you've encountered some. They're like above ground rivers. I mean, actually the above ground river is maybe weirder to you, right? But like some of them are very
they
meandering.
just kind of go wherever. They just kind of wander back and forth. Below ground rivers, they make sense. They go through the softest rock in a straight, or sometimes kind of a wiggly path, but generally it's the rock that determines the flow of the river. Above ground rivers, they just go through dirt, so they just kind of go wherever, all over the place. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, that's a great point. So since the water pushes through softer rock underground, it logically often would go in a fairly straight line because of the way that rock is structured. Sometimes, yeah, they curve and they meander, but yeah, it has more to do with the texture of the rock.
Do I have any sense, based on like the geography of the area and the stone in the area? I know it's just like plains and there's not a lot of stones. Do I have any sense at all of like what the underground like bedrock structure might be?
Oh man, why you guys are testing me so much? I don't know the answers to these questions.
You don't know what your bedrock is made out of? Come on.
Well, I don't know what bedrock would make what kind of river is the problem. Like,
I mean, you don't have to tell me what kind. You could just tell me whether or not it would.
Okay,
I think it's reasonable that it would be straight or not.
Okay, make a survival check, I guess, to try to figure out if you
not a knowledge nature.
Well,
Geology is nature, right?
I guess it kind of depends if you think that abiotic factors are part of nature or not. So, yeah.
Totally.
Right.
Totally.
Yeah, it's basically like you're trying to make some sort of insightful deduction between the above ground stuff and what's below ground, and then how the below ground would act, right?
For the record, I have a higher skill in survival.
Oh.
I don't know why I was trying to argue with you about that.
I think you convinced me to do knowledge nature, though, so let's do that.
Damn it!
Why would you argue with the DM?
I just always want to make a nature check because,
I mean, yeah, hey,
it's like that Leo meme, right?
Yeah. Roll credits.
Is this one of those moments where you wanted to be right more than you wanted to get along? Like a classic bad scientist?
Yes, I got a 10.
You got a 10. I mean, why complicate things? It's probably going straight.
I keep my mouth shut. For once. And by keep my mouth shut, I mean I talk about other stuff.
Oh, okay, sure, yeah. What are you talking about instead?
If only we could have silence.
Well, so there's actually something interesting going on in the chat. Like, somebody made a joke about Lucanus killing a buffalo, and that, like, Wyoming, we have this weirdly high ICU bed per capita rate because a lot of our tourists get injured. Like, climbing, skiing, these sorts of things are, the bread and butter of tourism in Wyoming. And because tourism is down because of the pandemic, like, if somebody in Wyoming happens to get COVID, like, we're better off because, like, in part because so many tourists do stupid shit with bison.
Okay, there's the tie-in, because I was like, I don't know why you're mentioning adventure sports, but you meant because people get hurt by approaching things they shouldn't try to pet.
So, like, we have these idiot bison petters here in Wyoming, and they might actually help us out in the long run.
Okay, so it is approximately halfway through. So let's take our bio break here, and we can come back in a few minutes and see what the gang gets up to next as they travel through the prairie. Don't forget, you can ask us questions in the chat. Give us your theories about how the silent spell really works and how physics fits into D&D world. And we'll be back soon. Thanks, everybody. Well, hi, everybody. We're back. Hope you're back, too. Got some snacks, maybe, or, took a quick bio break. We were talking about all kinds of random things, and Peter was arguing with me about the pronunciation of places. But here we are. Hello, Teal. Nice to see you. Also, thanks to Qui-Gon and Sarah for hanging out in the chat. We appreciate all of you being here, and we appreciate everybody who's not in the chat, too.
Just less, though. We appreciate them less.
That's not true.
Hey, fans are fans.
Fans are fans.
We love
We
all of our
appreciate you
fans.
being here. I mean, we'd love it if you talk to us. That would be cool. It's so hard on the internet when the fans don't talk back, because then you just feel like you're just speaking into the void.
Shouting into the void, yeah.
Yep, it's awkward, but I can see that you're watching even if you're not chatting, so that's fine. It makes me feel good that you're here. So y'all are wandering through the grasslands. Was there anything, Nautia, you said something about wanting to forage. Did you want to give me a survival check and see how successful you are at your foraging?
Let's see how that goes. That's better. What'd you say, survival? 20.
Okay, yeah. So you're able to find a good, again, it's this is the proxy for like the end of June. So you find a lot of flowers that you think might be edible, some, earlier fruiting things like some ground cherries and other stuff. But yeah, you find an interesting assortment of vegetable type foods that you think would be a nice supplement to everyone's rations. Yeah.
Can we dry those, or?
Drying food for like long-term preservation is a process. I don't think it's something that you could easily do like at your camp overnight kind of thing. These foods are preservable, and some of them look like the fresh counterparts of some of the stuff that's in, the trail rations you bought from Marcia. But that's not something that you could easily do just like overnight. Yeah.
We can make jelly.
This is more of a we're having these for dinner tonight sort of thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Or like, lunch as we walk.
Okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Nice. Okay, so that was that. Is there anything else anybody would like to do while you're walking?
Nope. I'm just sort of keeping a general lookout.
Okay. So if you're keeping a general lookout, you can give me a perception check.
All right. Oh, let me find it first.
Yeah, right there, Peter. Okay.
And my headset just like cut out for a second. I was fiddling with it, but seems like it's fixed.
Sorry, my hands are wet from the pumpkin mash still. Perception.
A 10. Yeah, so you don't really see anything, worth being concerned about or noticing. It's just cloudy, kind of breezy day on the prairie, not much interesting happening. Would you just, you'd like to keep walking in this north direction until it's time to make camp, or was there anything you wanted to stop and do, or did you want to divert from your path for any reason?
Nope, just keep following.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we're basically gonna just keep going in a straight line
Cool.
as long as we can.
Yeah, so you do that. For a ways, you walk. I mean, again, it's kind of hard, especially for Cedric. It's hard to walk because the plants are so thick. It's very exhausting. And even Lucanus, even though you're used to sort of being out and about and working hard, it's exhausting. Kay and Fletcher are maybe having a hard time as well, because even though they're taller than Cedric, it's arduous for people who don't normally walk in the, in nature. So you definitely all are becoming much tanner and much buffer than you were in your city lives beforehand.
Prairies are hard to walk through.
Oh yeah, it's like wading through knee-deep water.
Yeah, you would think that, it's just grass, but no, it's exhausting.
It really
is. I'm from Iowa,
so
yeah.
Would you say we're getting experience from like
Nice try. Yes.
Oh.
Yes. It's almost like you're becoming stronger versions of yourselves as you travel. Also though, if you don't have your face or your arms protected, here's a fun fieldwork fact. Grass hurts a lot, like many tiny paper cuts. And so like my master's advisor is actually kind of allergic. So like when we would come out of the prairie, he just chose to not wear long sleeves because it's hot, right? So you kind of have to make that like trade-off. And his arms would be all like swollen from the grass bites, I guess. But like even I'm not quite allergic to it, but yeah, it just your arms and your face just feel all like itchy and awful after walking.
And Kay
through
like
this.
use her sickle and like,
Yeah.
chop the grass down out of the way.
Yeah.
That is what it's for, I believe.
Yes, it is, in fact. So, yeah, you can kind of do your best. I mean, there's a lot of grass, but yeah, you can cut a swath to try to help alleviate the paper cut-ness. Thank you
great
for
sword
that
help
in the
with
chat,
that?
Nancy. What was that? I mean, you can. If you use it for something it's not meant for, you might dull it, but, it's like cutting fabric with paper scissors.
Yeah, no,
I was waiting
Lucanus
for Cindy to have a pained look on her face.
Lucanus is all about that weapon maintenance, so he's not gonna do that.
Cutting fabric with paper scissors or cutting paper with fabric scissors. There it is. That's what I was looking for. Yeah.
Sorry, I got distracted by the chat for a second.
Yeah, so you keep walking until it gets to be sort of like towards dusk and you feel like it's probably an appropriate time to set up a camp. So I'm assuming you do that. Unless you'd like to walk through the night, it's really up to you. No? They all have their mouths full. Okay, but you are setting up camp. Okay,
As we come to sort of a stopping point, I want to kind of do another, like, go up and kind of look around, and I guess I'll do perception first just to see like what I see. But then I've also been, because you sort of talked about like the direction of the river, and I've been sort of thinking on it all day, and I'm not saying that that's going to be a successful venture, but maybe I can try that too.
Okay, yeah. So you're trying to look for the river, or
just see if there's any, if I have any sort of insight on what might be determining the direction of the river. So basically, like he did his. I was thinking
the underground river. Okay,
nature local.
Sure. Yeah. Okay.
Or nature check. Okay, but first a perception check just to look around.
Okay.
So that one is 22.
22. Yeah, so you still see a lot of prairie around you. I'm getting up my map so that I can make sure I'm giving you appropriate information. Yeah, so you still see a lot of prairie around you. You can see the mountains curving off far to the west. And you can see a little more distinctly now that sort of line where the grasses start to fade away or transition into something else, into that desert. Nothing exceptionally remarkable to note though. Looks pretty much like what you'd expect or what you've been seeing. You can sort of, now that you're a little closer to the desert, you can see where the mountains start to curve a little bit. That's becoming a little more clear. But again, they're a few days off to your side. So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then can I do a knowledge nature to think on the underground river?
Sure.
Not sure if a good way to phrase that. Oh! That's a natural one.
A natural one?
That was a natural one.
I mean, it's water. Yes. Like, where you came from, water was just everywhere all the time, so you think it's weird that water is bounded by stuff on this plane? That's, like, always been weird to you? So...
No.
Maybe the whole inside of this
water
planet
goes where
is
it wants
water.
to go.
Yeah. Maybe the whole inside of this planet is water, and they just don't know it.
I mean, my whole plane is just water. I don't understand how there's places that aren't water here.
Right. It seems like a waste of space.
Appreciate that it's different. I just don't understand how it works.
Would I be able to do some hunting?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Should I do a survival check?
Let's start with a survival check and see if you can track something.
Let's see what I get. Oh, I got an 11.
An 11? I mean, you're not able to pick up any, like, oh, wait. Your survival is an 18. Is that what you just rolled?
Yeah. Wait. Oh, yep. Sorry,
Okay. Yeah, it's an
had
18.
it scrolled up a bit.
That's okay. Yeah, so it's an 18. Yeah, you find some tracks of some things. Would you like to track those things?
Yeah.
Generic antelope type dealio. Okay.
Am I taking Kay or Cedric with me as backup?
Have I been voluntold?
I am asking. I guess I so hey, Kay, Cedric, do you guys want to go hunting with me so that we can maybe stretch our rations a bit more? I found some tracks.
I don't have a lot of hunting experience, but I would totally be down to go.
Yeah, this sounds like a great thing for the boys to do. This sounds awesome. You guys got this.
Fletcher is like, I'm good.
Yeah.
All right, so...
Hey, just doesn't want to hear Cedric talk anymore and is very excited that he's not going to be around.
Sure.
All right, so Lucanus is going to teach Cedric how to hunt.
Oh, this is going to be great. Okay, so you found the tracks. Now you have to follow them. How are you following them? And by that I mean, are you doing it stealthily?
We are doing it stealthily.
Then give me some stealthful checks.
Is Lucanus going to mention that Cedric should maybe take his plate armor off? Or not plate armor, but scale mail off. my jingly jacket, we'll call it.
Chainmail, right? Isn't that
scale mail?
Yes.
Scale mail. Okay. Yes, you are going to mention that.
Oh. Okay. Yeah, sure. I will hunt in my clean shirt.
Okay, so remember that your AC is now lower.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
4 points lower.
4 points lower.
A lot.
Mm-hmm. And your touch AC would also just be 10 now, right?
Yes.
Or 10 plus.
Plus, I'm going to leave my shield behind as well.
Flat-footed. Oh my goodness. No shield, no armor. He's practically naked.
Yes.
No one wants to see that.
It's very primal hunting and we've got going on here. Okay.
I look very sharp.
You look very sharp.
I've got my crisp shirt on.
Is it really that crisp if you've been out here for
Nope.
a week or 2
Right.
months or forever, however long you've been out here? 2 weeks
Nope,
fresh
it
shirt.
is very
Really, just a couple of days will do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're at walk.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, yeah.
I mean, even a day, just judging by my own field work.
Mm-hmm. Very sweaty.
Anyway,
You've fought some
personal
things.
hygiene aside.
Personal hygiene aside, nobody ever talks about that in D&D. I think it's important to maintain the verisimilitude as much as possible. I love that word. Anyway, okay, so you've taken off all of your jingly-jangly armor. Give me some stealth checks.
All right, I did
these-
move silently.
Generic, nope, not move silently. We have stealth on your skill sheet. That's
Do
the
we?
skill I asked for. Yes. Yes. We talked
Okay.
about this all the way back at character creation. Stealth is at the bottom of the sheet, like perception.
There it is. Oh, whoops! I accidentally rolled twice.
Well, we'll take the first one. 10. Cedric, you don't have an armor check penalty right now, so
it's a straight up 17.
Surprisingly, Cedric is doing like that. Like, he feels so light and free without his armor. He's like pretending to be a shadow and like doing like the freeze frame stuff, but he's doing it all very quietly. Lucanus is so distracted by Cedric's theatrics that Lucanus is not being very stealthy.
No.
Not being very stealthy at all. Like, you're laughing and like turning around and looking and stepping on stuff. And so yeah, you're trying to follow the tracks, but they just keep being tracks and you don't really seem to find much of anything. Because you're not being super stealthy. Well, or you're trying to be super stealthy, but maybe it's not holistic.
So we don't get anything.
I mean, you can keep trying, but you've been out here for a little while and it's starting to get darker. And I mean, you both can see in the semi-darkness, but, it depends on how far away you want to get from your friends and,
No, let's just set up some traps and see what happens come morning.
Okay. You're setting up like your deadfall traps again, Cedric?
Yes, and I want to cook my not quite as fresh ground squirrel.
Ooh, would you show me how to set up deadfall traps?
Yes.
Okay. Make survival checks, the two of you. We'll do some trapping.
I like Nadia's hunting method. Berries seems to be the most consistent
Wow.
success we've had.
A double 6 from the boys on their survival. What a pair. All right, yeah, you make some. Cedric is like very, you're doing the whole like super elaborate explanation, and like you're pretty sure you didn't skip any steps. Yeah, you feel really good about all these. You make a lot of deadfall traps.
All
Yep.
right.
Yep, we spent
Let's
a
make
lot of time doing it.
Yep, and-
Let's make up for quality with volume.
I hate us.
Okay, but like these roles aren't actually important. So
Nope,
like,
we are bad adventurers. So.
I still hate us. Except for Cindy. She's great.
okay, so
Back at the camp, Nautia just pulls out a handful of berries and says, "Would you like one of these? You'll probably only need one."
Hell yeah. Can't eat one.
it is very good.
And I'll eat one. So
it
two of
removes
us have
fatigue.
had a full dinner.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Girls
a
team.
full meal. It removes fatigue. What else does it do? 1 point of damage, something like that. Yeah. It heals 1 point of damage. It doesn't do damage.
Yeah,
The
each
vicious
therapeutic
berry.
provides nourishment as if it were a normal meal for a medium creature.
Well, that's you. Yeah. Nice.
1 point of damage if you had any damage.
So what you're saying is that Nautia does not have any habaneros.
Not as far as we can tell.
No, but I got some of those ground cherries, and they're real good.
Veronica's looking out for Fletcher in the
Yeah,
chat.
thanks, Veronica.
Are we spoon feeding Fletcher too?
I like that you had to elaborate and tell us that Fletcher's were not the cold feet in Peter's bed.
I mean, he might be.
That was very important.
Is somebody in the chat writing Cedric Fletcher /fic?
Yeah, like
No.
Peter wakes up tomorrow morning and rolls over and sees this fictional character in his bed. Like, that would be a whole nother level of exciting.
Yeah, I feel like Fletcher looks like a fantasy version of Ryan in my head, so it would be very weird.
Oh God, Ryan
Yeah.
Ryan would look totally badass as a D&D wizard.
I mean, I did paint that mini for him a
Yeah.
while ago. But yeah, okay. So you guys come back into the camp, and the three of them are just sort of sitting around with their. Did you make a fire? Or are you just hanging out in the dark?
We
I
made
feel
a
like
fire.
Fletcher, not having used any magic all day, would have started, like, if they could, would have been like, if you guys want to, while the boys are gone, if you guys want to like go out and collect some tinder, I know, if you can find some dry animal dung, I know that burns pretty well.
Light bright on all of that.
I can start a fire if you can just gather up some burnable materials.
This is a great Fletcher impression. I feel like it's better than your Lucanus impression was.
Do my best.
Okay, yeah. So Cedric and Lucanus, you come back to Fletcher and Nautia and Kay sitting around a nice fire. You're a little dirty, but other than that, yeah. The evening is yours to do with as you choose.
So, boys, what beast shall we be feasting on tonight?
Snake and ground squirrel.
So you failed.
Yeah, we didn't get anything.
We got really close to this one like that had these like big horns, and then Lucanus stepped on this like big stick, and it was just like, and then it was like, bing, 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 bing. Then it ran away.
Wait, was bing 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 the noise of the deer like jumping away?
Yeah. It's in my head. That's the noise that deer make when they.
That's the noise that antelope make in my head as well.
Okay. All right.
I'm a mammal biologist. I don't know if you guys know.
You're also a hunter, and that's the sound that Bambi makes in the woods, huh?
I mean, whenever I see a deer running away, I'm always cursing so loudly in my head that I can't hear anything else. Okay. So I have to make that up.
They might as well be making that noise.
Yeah.
Because they're going away from you, and that's what matters.
Well, we tried to hunt, and teaching, always, it never goes as well when you're teaching, so. But we have some deadfall traps. We have lots of deadfall traps. Maybe we'll find something for breakfast.
I have some berries if you'd like to have one.
Ooh, yes,
They're
please.
Very good.
They're very
I
good.
hand each of you a berry.
Oh, you got a lot today, huh? Neat.
I did.
That's good stuff.
I've been rolling like 3s the last several times. This time I got 7.
Nice.
Is Lucanus still healing? Is he still recovering stuff?
I don't know if he has. Do you have any more hit points left to recover, or is it just the dexterity drain?
It's just the dexterity.
Okay.
I mean, it is night, and we're about to, reset all of our spells. So if anyone wants to cast anything.
So wait, hold up. So Nautia can conjure food, right?
Wow.
No, good berries are only good for healing. They're not good for.
No, so the good berry. So I have to pick berries. I have to pick real world berries, and then I cast a thing on them that means they become a meal or a hit point, or both.
Gotcha.
No,
so if you
right
find yourselves in a place with no berries, no good berries. Yeah.
Yep. And it's only good for 24 hours, so.
And then they poof.
I was just about to be real upset that we spent so long arguing about rations when you could just make food, but now I understand.
It's not like
These are very. So the rations are for when the stuff we can forage isn't available anymore, which includes the good berries. So this is stretching the rations.
Can you conjure water?
Somebody has the ability to create water.
If I pray on it in the morning, I can.
Okay, that'll be useful coming up. I was just wondering.
Yes, it will.
Yeah. Nautia seems maybe a little bit nervous about going to a place with no water.
I can't imagine why. Yeah. Wow, the conversation in the chat about what deer sound like is really great. Yeah.
Very boingy.
Chronic wasting disease has been in the East Coast for a long time. Like, that was a thing when I was in high school.
Luckily, it's spread very slowly.
Right,
so,
but it is a thing.
Yeah.
Like, they have the boxes out for people to drop off deer heads and stuff to track it. So.
Yeah, it's also a thing in Iowa.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's more of a southern Midwest thing. It's like that Iowa, Ohio, like they're very much monitoring it, like Pennsylvania, Maryland, that area. Luckily, there's never been a case in North Carolina. So, We don't have it yet,
Mm-hmm.
which means I get to keep all my deer heads
Yeah.
for my own personal use.
Is it as just really unpleasant as it sounds? As the name sounds?
Chronic wasting disease, it's a prion. So
Yeah.
if you know anything about prions, you know to run for the hills.
There's never been a documented case of a human getting it, though. So, like, it's not as scary as madcap.
Prions are on my top 5 list of things to be frightened of in this world. I am not actually frightened of very many things. Like, there are lots of animals that, like, deserve healthy respect, but I'm not really afraid of them. But prions are hella terrifying. Yeah.
Is it
Brain holes, delicious.
Yeah.
is it denatured with cooking?
No.
I looked this up the other day. It takes something like several hours at 900 degrees Fahrenheit or something crazy like that in order to kill it. Prions are
so-
scary.
Isn't the mad cow one of those where they shut down all of the food processing for it?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
prions they're like weird little protein things that just, oh my goodness. Like,
Wreak
nobody... Like,
havoc and poke holes in your brain.
yeah. Like,
They are
we don't
they
know
are
much
one of
about
the
them.
few problems that barbecue cannot solve.
Sure.
Sound like a southerner, Joe.
I feel like barbecue could also cause problems, but let's not go down that road today.
That is not true. As a North Carolinian, I object to that statement.
But as a Texan, I know exactly how to stir up that trouble.
Let's go.
This
Let's
is one of
throw
the problems
down.
that barbecue can cause, which is why we're moving on. I wasn't even talking about heart
My family's
disease.
from North Carolina, and I do actually prefer pork barbecue.
There you go.
But don't tell anyone here. So I
Oh,
said
good.
that.
I, as a Western North Carolinian, prefer the Eastern style sauces. So we're both traitors.
I don't know why we say come for the game and stay for the science. It's come for the game and stay for the food here.
Yeah.
Hey,
We spent so
food
much
involves
of
a lot
this
of
game
science.
talking about
There's
food.
a lot of science.
Okay, yeah.
Come
that's-
listen to
that's
Nature
fair.
Check. It'll make you hungry at 9 p.m. Eastern time. Fourth meal advertisement. That's
Fourth
basically
meal,
what this is.
yeah.
Go to Taco Bell.
I eat a stupid early dinner on these days because we start talking at 4:30 my time. Anyway, okay, yeah, poor Veronica.
She also hates us.
No, Sarah, my hot take is that I've always hated cornbread because of traumatic childhood experiences. But I said we were moving on, so we're moving on. Are you
We
setting a
are-
watch tonight?
Very sad about whatever happened to you as a child with cornbread.
I know.
We
God,
are-
That's so heartbreaking.
Things in the world.
Cheryl, we are going to have an entire nature chat about this whole cornbread thing, but Lucanus will take first watch.
Okay. Who's taking the watch after Lucanus?
I'll take it.
Okay, cool. All right, Lucanus, give me a perception check on your watch.
Ugh.
6. Oh, that's a natural 1 plus 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, everything seems pretty normal on your watch.
Uh-oh.
Things are happening, maybe not. I
Things
wouldn't
seem pretty
know
normal.
because I got a natural one.
You wouldn't know. You might even actually roll one more time because I just wanna. Okay.
Confirm
yeah, so
how
it's-
bad you did at that.
Yeah. Yeah. No. I mean, everything seems pretty normal. It's fine. You know.
Yep.
Okay, and then
what
you
do-
switch with Nautia.
Yep. Everything seems pretty normal, Nadia. It's fine.
23.
23. Yeah, so you are having the, like, last 4 hours, you know, as morning is starting to break, basically. It's very pretty. I believe, let me get my weather document up, because I did that. Yeah, so it looks like it's going to be another cloudy day. You might even smell rain in the air, like it might start raining soon, which is nice for you. You love that smell. Yeah, but nothing really seems to happen on your watch. Kay, while you're sleeping, you don't have, like, a full-out dream again, but you just sort of, like, every once in a while see flashes of those white flowers again. They're sort of, like, you know, weaving themselves in amongst your other, like, normal dreams.
Thoughtful nodding. The
Thoughtful
narration
nodding.
there.
Yeah, thoughtful nodding. Okay, so yeah, what would you like to do now that it's morning and everybody's doing the wake 'em ups?
Do I have leftover ground squirrel?
I mean, it's a ground squirrel. It's not very big, so no.
Saving all the bones, because, you can make a good stew with that.
Practice witchcraft?
No, you take all those bones, you got a good stew going.
Chipmunk stock.
Okay.
Rat.
He is now a vegetarian.
Chipmunk and snake stock.
Okay.
I could imagine chipmunk and snake stock being very good, actually.
I agree. I feel like that's the thing about all those critters with like tiny little bones. You just gotta like boil them, get all that flavor out. A lot of flavor in those little bones. A little bone marrow.
I mean, if you can get us a squirrel, and I don't know what the harvesting rules are on snakes, but like you could try this, right? Like a squirrel.
I honestly don't feel like, as long as Nature Check goes, there will never ever be another like more North Carolinian thing that will ever happen than Peter's last comment.
Peter, you can just come here and try that with guinea pig.
Oh.
You can put guinea pig on a
wanted to try
stick.
guinea pig.
Yeah,
Ryan has eaten guinea pig.
Yeah. I feel like we talked about this before.
Like you guys have talked about this? Yeah.
Yeah, it's greasy.
I haven't actually tried it. It's up
Oh.
here in the Andes, and everyone who I'm friends with is from the coast, and they're all like, we don't eat the guinea pigs.
In that case, role-playing Fletcher. Fletcher knows something about guinea pigs, I guess.
No, Fletcher
Insert
doesn't.
here.
No. Fletcher does not.
Ryan does.
Sarah says that snake harvesting is not allowed in most places. Then who are all these people who I hear say that they've eaten rattlesnake and it tastes like chicken? Is that just like people harvesting it illegally? Like, what's the story with that? Because I feel like there's got to be a...
Yeah, I don't think they're
Yeah, or like
there's not a season for snakes in North Carolina.
You can get it at like, so when I was in St. Louis, I actually did get some rattlesnake meat, and it was fine.
Okay, yeah, because like I feel like I've seen it on like a show where people are gonna eat weird stuff. Like snake is often one of the weird things,
Yeah,
right? So like there's
Sarah says with a small game license you can hunt it.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
In some places, but I'm sure a lot of it is just farm raised, right?
It's
Yeah.
I wouldn't know. I mean,
Seems funny to think about a snake farm.
it does.
Well,
taste
I mean, like they raise rattlesnakes for antivenoms and stuff like that, right?
Yeah,
So
I guess I just think about them like farmer with a straw in his mouth looking out over his field of snakes. Like that's just.
I mean, all those milk cows turn into hamburger when they're done being milked. I bet snakes are the same way. I bet there's a.
I just sort of feel like snake and chicken and alligator. They just kind of taste like general meat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Figs says that they ate it in a restaurant in Arizona, but they don't know where it came from. I don't know. I mean, maybe it is farmed. Yeah.
Also, you can hunt and eat anything as long as the game warden doesn't find out.
Okay. Also, if it's your property, right?
There's a lot of places with a lot of just.
No?
It depends. Yeah. No. I mean, you can't hunt. No, there are definitely restrictions on your.
Having
Like
lived.
In North Carolina, I'll say like you can hunt deer without a license on your property,
Right.
but you still have to abide by all the game laws. Like
Right,
you can't
okay.
night hunt, you can't hunt with
And-
you can't spotlight deer and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
And having lived in Mississippi, honestly, it's kind of hard to not live in Mississippi and not, eat frog or snake or anything like that. And they're good. They're good. I like them.
Oh, frog is.
I've only had frog once, and it wasn't great, but I think maybe it was the treatment it received rather than the fact that it was frog. So I'd be willing to. Our rule.
I bet Nautia tastes like a frog.
Okay. Can we not talk about eating our humanoid companions? That would be great.
I've always
Not
thought of
especially in
Cedric as
videos.
having. I've always thought of Cedric as having a distinct roast beef flavor.
I thought we determined last time when we were talking about how Nautia breathes that she was more fishy than amphibian-y. Wasn't that? Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, fish
maybe
has
she has
a
fin
wide
bones.
variety of. I mean, are we talking orange roughy, Chilean sea bass, tilapia?
More of a salmon. She's moving in,
I always
Not
thought
tilapia.
I always thought more tuna because she handles herself in battle really well, and that is
Very
more
predatory.
Yeah, it's more of a red meaty kind of.
I was gonna say it's almost kind of warm-blooded y. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And my dad is.
Remember the last time I asked them to talk about fish and they couldn't come up with anything, and here we are.
You just gotta talk about.
We had to talk about through the food angle, of course.
Yeah,
Here
exactly.
We are.
Yeah.
Ah!
If your best friend was a fish, what would they taste like?
So my dad.
Gefilte fish.
Carl.
Shout out to Ari.
So my dad is really interested in like historical documentation from ships, and especially those where like there were shipwrecks. And so he like reads the original materials from the like original journals. And apparently on some of the trips where they've had to do cannibalism, people taste a lot like pork.
Yep.
I mean, that doesn't surprise
But like bad
me at all.
pork, right? Like
Well,
boar.
they actually
All pork tastes bad. I don't like it.
Oh,
Well, like
Even barbecue?
I mean, barbecue, you destroy it so much, it just tastes like sauce. It doesn't taste like anything under it. You could put barbecue on broccoli and it would be fine.
No. He's about to dive through his computer.
Come at me, bro!
Where are my gloves to throw down?
Nancy, you have not had truly good barbecue.
I lived in Georgia!
I mean,
Yeah.
Georgia.
Yeah.
Having had barbecue from all of the like native barbecue regions, Georgia barbecue is, I mean, it's there's a reason why it's not one of the main barbecue regions. It's good, but we'll have to take you to Texas or the Carolinas, or Mississippi actually has pretty good barbecue, believe it or not.
Okay.
Veronica is calling you out as being a picky eater, so.
That is not untrue.
What I was gonna say is, there is a reason why the kind of slang for human flesh is called long pig.
The chat is so far ahead of you.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I was trying to drop that. Anyways,
but it's not a surprise because, like, on the inside, we're actually very similar. Like, pig parts are used for some organ transplant procedures in people because they are such a good match both in terms of size and just like biology. So
biochemistry. We are in fact a lot of like we use a lot of like pig cell cultures. So,
I'm not even gonna bring up insulin. We don't have to talk about that at all.
God.
Don't let Joe start talking about insulin.
Okay.
No,
Quick,
we
change the
all-
subject.
It's
We
morning
all
in the
know
chat,
I have
Joe.
an insulin rant.
It is the morning of the 27th day of Bloom Run, so that's Cordem on the week calendar. That equates to Saturday. I don't think any of you remember the calendar at all, but Bloom Run is the equivalent of June, so it's almost the end of June, and it is the equivalent of a Saturday or Cordem.
I mean, it's been like 2 months, so who knows?
Oh my god. Okay, so
Someday I will go
Time
back
has no
and
meaning anymore. It's like
re-listen just to
COVID.
get all the dates.
yeah. Well, yeah. I have them for you. I know what day it is. But so you're waking up. Nautia smells that it might rain at some point today. What would you like to do today?
Same thing we do every day, Pinky. Head for the mountains.
It took this group a really long time to get to that line. Head for the mountains.
We are gonna have to check our deadfall traps.
Oh yeah.
Head for the direction that Nautia
Okay.
is leading us
Would
in,
you
I
like
guess.
to check your deadfall traps first?
I would.
You would. Okay, so you go and you check all of them and you realize that during your very elaborate explanation, you definitely explained how to build a pitfall trap, but you left a completely, like terribly vital component out of each and every one of them. The exact
We have to
same
bait
component.
the traps.
Yeah.
The bait is really important.
Yeah.
And
Otherwise,
I
it's
left
just a hole.
I left all of our snake meat in the pot and forgot to put it in the traps. So, okay, so
I hate
Lucanus,
you.
do as I say, not as I do.
Good thing Nautia is the only competent one here, and like can
Fletcher
help
looks
us all
very
out.
hurt. Fletcher looks very hurt.
Yeah, while Naughty and Fletcher are both out like foraging. It's like,
Yeah. Alrighty. Now that you've done that, and you'd like to keep continuing north?
Yep.
Okay. Is there anything you would like to do on your travels? Anything you're looking for, thinking about, talking about?
If there's anything I can shoot, I'll take a shot.
Give me a perception check.
You can shoot yourself in the foot.
I hope I don't do that.
You could.
That was amazing.
I did
Okay.
get a 20 though.
You did get it. Well, not a natural 20, but an unholy 20, as they say on the last tapestry.
Dirty 20.
A dirty 20 also works. Yeah, so there's definitely more game out today. Cedric didn't bother putting his armor back on, so you guys are a little quieter. So you can take a shot at something if you'd like.
All right, I'll take a shot at something.
Are you
What
using
do I-
your crossbow?
I will use my crossbow.
Okay.
So go to the weapons.
Try to imagine how much damage a heavy crossbow would do to an animal.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wait.
I mean, if it's a big enough animal.
No attack bonus?
Just just hit the button.
Well,
for
it's
heavy
asking
crossbow.
me. It's asking me for a power attack bonus.
Oh
so-
no, just click through all those. Oh, that wasn't the one with the attack. That's just the damage. You need to hit the one that has the attack.
Oh, okay. Not flanking.
Okay, yeah, with a 16, you're definitely able to shoot and bring down a small antelope type thing. Generic, store brand antelope. Cindy, your face.
Well, it's funny because living in Wyoming, we do have Walmart antelope.
No. Really?
Well, I mean, they're Walmart. They're antelope that go through the parking lot at Walmart occasionally, but
not in the Walmart. Yeah.
not in the Walmart. I've never seen them
Hey,
in
how did
the
they
Walmart.
package this?
Sam's Club antelope. Oops, all antelope. I don't know. I don't know. What else? What else you got? Dr. Antelope. Yeah, I'm out. Okay.
I don't know what the off-brand antelope would be. Antelope Thunder?
Okay. All right, yeah. So
yeah, we got a speed goat.
you got a speed goat. There's the off-brand we were looking for. You have that now. I guess you're going to take some time to dress it and,
Take it along with us.
Okay, yeah. So that processing, if you're not going to haul it whole, I imagine it's going to take a little while because you have to get all of the viscera out and you want to hold it up. There isn't really anything to hang it from, which is going to be very exciting for you. Yeah.
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 Yeah, Lucanus, you just have to hold it
Yeah, he's tall
for
enough.
like
to just hold
2
it.
hours while I.
I feel like this is something I've done before. You know, just kill an antelope, hold it up, and then walk a dwarf through cleaning the antelope.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, he knows how to clean very tiny animals. It's just a very, very, very large rat. Think you can do that, Cedric?
Well, the thing is, like field dressing a rat is super easy, and then you skin it, also super easy. But then, you basically cook the whole thing, and then you eat the meat off the bones. Actually, having an animal that's large enough to have different cuts of meat, totally different ball game.
Yeah.
So I have Cedric has no idea the difference between a tenderloin, a quarter round, a top round, eye round.
Yeah,
none
but
of that.
Lucanus walks him through all that.
Okay, cool. Give me another survival check, you two. This is just going great.
God.
We're still talking about food.
Skills.
That's a critical failure. I stab myself in the hand.
No, you shoot yourself in the foot.
Do you want to stab yourself in the hand? Is that...
No, I'm just...
I mean, because I was going to tell you to roll again to confirm the fail first, but if you want to
Just roll a d20?
Yeah,
It's a 6?
that's a fail. Okay, yeah, you do, in fact, cut yourself for... are you using a dagger? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lucanus, you're doing an okay job instructing him, and he is very clumsy, and he stabs himself in the hand for 2 damage.
Aw.
I'm dead. Hey, maybe you should hunt some vegetables. You're less likely to hurt yourself.
I don't know. Me cutting the pumpkin. I can imagine you slipping on that. No, I got an 18.
Yeah. Well, yeah, so your instructions are good, but he's the one doing the cutting. So
Oh, okay.
he cuts himself, because you're holding it, right? Because you're the only one tall enough and strong enough to hold this thing, because there are no trees for you to string it up by. So he was doing the cutting, but he cut himself more than he cut the antelope, and so now there's just a hole in Cedric's hand.
Yeah, but then I finished the job admirably.
Okay, so you're just gonna cut it on the ground by yourself?
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, okay, that's fine. That is not how mending works. Nice try. You cannot stick fingers back onto hands with mending. That is
Why not? We
what
fixed
it's
her
for.
roof.
It's not
Your
what that's
moderate
for.
wounds.
Nope.
I thought. Does moderate
okay.
wounds grow your fingers back?
Huh?
Is it Skelegirl
See,
from Harry Potter?
No.
It's like flesh damage. Like severed limbs are gone.
Well, or you have to put a lot of effort into them.
Yeah.
I mean, worst case scenario, severed limbs, more rations, so.
I feel like Cindy was saying something.
Before that very concerning
Forgot
statement.
what it was now.
Okay. So now you've taken probably an hour or 2 to deal with this thing. Yeah. What else are you doing, folks, friends? What are we doing?
No, that's it. We got food for the next few days, so.
Okay. So you're continuing to walk?
Yep.
Okay.
And I would walk 500 miles.
Okay.
I already made that joke in the chat.
You've already made that joke in so many episodes. Please don't make them come after us. Please.
Yeah, none of us have been on key enough.
I don't think that matters.
If the pretenders come after us for copyright infringement, does that mean that we could have them as guests on?
I feel like they've been broken up for like
I think it
25
counts
years,
as fair
I feel
use
like.
because it's a cover.
They're just twin brothers, Peter.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
And they actually did. I guess it was a while ago now. They did a cool cover of a Reckless Hair song.
They are actually a very good band. I don't want to get them into a flock of seagulls situation.
Anyway.
Anyways.
Here we are in the prairie. Your backpack is full of meat. What are we doing? Please, dear
Walking.
God, somebody do something.
Walking.
I'll
Yeah.
pop up and do another perception check before we get rolling.
Okay, do that.
Oh no!
Oh,
That's a
yes.
1.
That's a 1. Don't see anything interesting.
Okay, so the chat has raised a very important question. When I stabbed myself, did I get blood on my shirt?
I
Of course
mean,
you did.
it's not like that much blood.
That's
Like,
what I thought.
I mean,
No, but he probably wiped his hand off on a shirt or something.
I mean that kind of
How
depends.
long
Like,
are
did
the
you?
sleeves?
Yeah, did you do that? Because like
No, I'm very conscious of cleanliness. Like, Cedric is like the kind of person who washes every opportunity, like takes a bath every chance he gets, like launders his clothes. So like, I would not like put blood on my shirt,
Okay.
especially having tried to get blood out of my shirt multiple times and failed because hydrogen peroxide doesn't exist in this world. So
Yeah,
So-
no, I crashed my bike. You probably, I don't know, maybe you can see this. There's a scar on the meaty part of my hand here, because I crashed my bicycle really badly in high school and had to go to the hospital and get stitches, and that was a very deep cut. So I would estimate it was 2 hit points of damage, but it did not bleed that much. Because like, your hand has a lot of like thick muscle, so it kind of just like slurps back together after you cut it.
I actually have a very similar
not a good
scar,
word.
but
Sklurp.
mine was being drunk and attempting to make a martini.
Okay.
Also, just a Pretenders update. They have a new album as of July 17th,
Pretenders.
2020 called Hate for Sale. So they are still active, still making studio
The
albums.
500
Are you
miles
talking
guy.
about the Proclaimers?
Or the Proclaimers,
Oh, it is the
sorry.
Proclaimers, yeah.
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 Okay. I was like, the
I'm gonna
Pretenders.
say
Who's that?
Pretenders is the wrong one.
Yeah.
I don't think
Did
my
you find what you're
scar
looking for
shows
there,
up.
Peter?
I don't think my scar shows up very good on the camera.
I don't
Like,
know.
It's
I see a red something. I don't know if it's supposed to be red though. If that's not what we're looking at.
my
I don't know.
bits. My bits are supposed to be red. I have a scar right here.
Oh, okay.
The last time I cut myself really bad, and had to I got 17 stitches.
17.
Yeah, four of which were in the muscle, and it surprisingly didn't bleed that bad.
I think I probably should have gotten muscle stitches in mine. They only did the top, but it was so deep. Sometimes I get like a phantom itch inside my hand, and I can't scratch it. It's real bad.
Those are the worst.
But I'm sure if Cedric feels like this hand cut is bad, he can fix it himself.
Nah, yeah, he's the kind of guy that would just like kind of super glue a wound back together.
I mean, if there were super glue, you're just gonna let
Tangle
it.
patch.
There's
the
a
wound back
mending
together.
spell.
That's not what mending's for.
I'm gonna cast Cure Moderate Wounds on myself, or Cure Light Wounds.
I love that we've just come full circle on that.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Sheryl also hates us.
We really, one might say that we've walked 500 miles to that joke.
Okay.
God.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now we're literally just spinning our wheels. I keep waiting for Kay to mention to anyone that she's looking for something. That's why I'm like, what are you guys doing? You're just walking?
Nope, I'm not
Okay.
looking for anything. I'm in denial. Fuck that shit.
And then,
Oh,
then we
no.
walked 500 more.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I don't have any tuggy heartstrings, and I don't care about no flowers.
Oh no! I didn't even realize there was stuff going on. So I healed myself for 4 hit points. So
Okay.
I'm back up to full.
Okay. Yeah.
Is it safe to say that, like, with the overcast and the weather coming in, and I rolled a 1, there's nothing to see, right?
Yeah. Nothing to see. Nope. Nothing
Alright,
interesting out there. Mm-mm.
I will report that back to the group in case anyone has any other ideas.
Lucanus,
This
Lucanus
plains is
asks,
so boring. Nothing happens. It's just the same
Lucanus
day.
Lucanus asks Nautia to show him how to forage better.
For food, because that's what we talk about on this
Yep.
channel.
Show them some of the things that I've been picking.
Survival checks
Been pretty much
again.
the same stuff the last few days.
So many survival. This episode has had more survival checks in it than some D&D games have in their entire campaigns.
I got a 9.
You got a 9. Lucanus
That's
just isn't having a great time today.
Is that gonna be the?
17.
17. So Nadia's very, like, patiently trying to show you stuff, but you're just, like, I don't know, you're still bummed about the traps not working, and also, like, your backpack is really heavy now with this antelope in it, so, yeah, you're a little distracted, so I don't know that you pick up a whole, like, any more new information about foraging, but, like, Nadia, you find some stuff, yeah.
Kay will go over to Nautia and she's like, hey, not that it's like it really important or anything, but if you happen to find some white flowers, let me know, alright?
White flowers?
Yeah.
Okay.
You got the eyes and know the plants and stuff. They all just kind of, look like plants.
Kate,
Okay.
would you give me an intelligence check?
No! I'm in denial!
I just want to see if you remember something.
I definitely do not remember which character sheet I have up. Go. Let's see.
The last album from the Proclaimers, not the Pretenders, is called
Ouch.
Angry Cyclist, and it was dropped in 2018.
Y'all go just talk about food for a while.
I
I
I got a 1. I remember shit.
Yep.
Plus
white,
3.
White flowers. Mm-hmm.
Wow, white flowers. Yep.
This is great. Where's Ryan?
Like that laugh, Sheryl.
No, it's fine. I totally didn't spend 3 days this week planning something that's not happening. It's fine.
Look at this 1 that's here.
It's beautiful. I love it so much. It's a good number.
Yep.
I'm just gonna wander around out here in the prairie.
I mean, we're I'm like, I don't know, my dream space was like white flowers and white walls in the middle of the desert, and we're not to the desert yet. Why even worry about it?
Do I remember anything from my last PTSD dream?
No, yours don't have as much distinct imagery to them.
Okay.
Yeah, Kay, I don't think your dream actually included desert.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess I just assumed it was the desert.
I'm more actively trying to forget stuff, I guess.
You told me white walls and white flowers, and for some reason I thought white walls and flowers grow in the desert.
Yep.
Because,
So
you know,
anyways,
I'm very good at nature and stuff.
I would correct you, but you got a 1, so now I can't.
Yep.
So
anyways, here's Wonderwall.
So funny story. I didn't take detect magic today because I took something else. But maybe does Fletcher, does she have the magic thing again?
Wait, what? The magic thing?
Kate, you were able to follow
Fletcher
I
cast.
have no
to that cave
heartstrings.
place.
There's just flowers and white walls.
Fletcher cast detect magic. I just needed to make sure they had it prepared.
Okay, Fletcher casts detect magic. You detect no magical auras other than those of like the random items that you and your friends are carrying.
Yeah, we tried that already. And he was like, if you feel any weird heartstring pulls, we'll like follow you. But I feel no heartstring pulls, and all I've got to go on is white walls and white flowers. And I see no white walls and no white flowers. And a staircase. You know, if you happen to see a giant staircase before ID, let me know. But I feel like that wouldn't be obvious.
Like a stairway to heaven?
Probably.
Those we're making song references.
Walk 500 miles to a stairway to heaven.
Anybody in the chat want to help her out? I'll let you phone a friend. If the chat remembers anything that might help them find this place, you let me know. It's okay if you don't. We'll just keep walking.
There is like the moon.
Qui-Gon Bowers asks,
scribbles.
wasn't there a magic item
Staircases.
someone had that Fletcher hadn't spotted yet?
I don't know. Well, okay, so like he hasn't like sat down and like done a lot of investigating of the magic items. So like he sees their auras when he does detect magic, but normally he's doing detect magic to detect something else. Like, you know, he did detect magic yesterday on Lucanus to try to see if he was magically ill, or he did detect magic in the abandoned knoll camp to try to find items, but like he hasn't, like, again, detect magic just tells you whether or not something's magical, so he knows that the group has a bunch of magic items because he can see the auras, because it even like goes through backpacks and stuff, right? So he can see all the auras. He just doesn't know what these things are because he hasn't cast Identify, because as we mentioned previously, Identify requires that he grind up a pearl and stir it into a cup of wine with an owl feather and then drink said wine and pearl. And he has to do that once for each item.
So, do we know what items he has identified as magic that we still don't know what they do?
Yes. Let's go through that.
We have
Sorry, I'm going to throw my hat at my cat.
Okay.
Hush!
Okay, so somebody has a block of sweet-smelling incense that I think somebody tried to eat at some
Fletcher
point.
has.
Okay.
Yeah, Fletcher has that.
Lucanus has a chunk of yellowish, orangish knot stone that's at the end of a long gold chain. Kay has...
Didn't we decide that was amber? I feel like we,
Yeah, we decided that was amber.
You said it was a weird stone. You guys have meta'd that it's amber, but nobody has actually
okay.
told you it's amber. You just...
Gotcha.
Cedric knew it wasn't a rock. Kay has one red arrow that screams when you fire it. She has arrows of biting, which she now knows what they are. So I'm actually going to remove that from my list of not identified things, because it's been identified. You have other magic items. Kay has a small clay brooch painted white and shaped like a pair of wings with a small green gem in the center. Lucanus has this golden armband. Kay has a rock
Yeah.
You know what the rock does. Oh, you know what the rock from Gary does. Mm-hmm. It's called a Blightstone, but you know what it does.
We all know what the rock does.
Okay. Gary gave Fletcher a shield made out of some sort of dark wood. Lucanus has studded leather armor that he took off of the body of the dead Knoll necromancer. Fletcher has a blue metal chain with a small pendant of a perfectly spheroid clear blue gem on the end. And Fletcher also has a small stone filled with sparkly inclusions. So you have many magic items that you have not identified or tried to use. Yeah.
I'm trying to write down all the items that Fletcher has that are magic that he hasn't identified yet so that I can give this note to Ryan. Since Cedric doesn't have any unidentified magic items, I guess.
Apparently not. Yeah. You gotta take more stuff.
Not a lot of avarice in Cedric.
Plenty in Lucanus, though, so if there's anything that I can take, I will take it. By force if necessary, because that's, by rule.
You look like you're going to say something. No?
Nope.
No? Okay. Nope. I couldn't tell what that face was.
I feel like I'm constantly about to say something, so
okay.
In that case,
that's fine.
I didn't have anything to say.
Qui-Gon Bowers suggests you burn some incense and take a nice midday nap.
It is hot out here. Sounds like a perfect time for a siesta.
Yeah. And yeah, as it moves into the afternoon, a rain does start to fall.
Ooh, this feels nice.
Yeah.
Gross. It's muggy.
Gross. Yeah, so it does get muggy. And it's a light rain at first, and it becomes steadily harder rain towards the evening. What are you grinning about, Cindy?
Oh, I'm just picturing how much Nautia likes that heavy rain and how much it sucks for the rest of them.
Yeah, yeah. All right, are you setting camp?
Guess so.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, so you set camp, and as you're setting up, if you've never tried to set up camp in the rain before,
it sucks so
it's a really bad
hard.
thing. Also, though, I think Lucanus somehow said he wound up with a tent, but nobody else has one, so...
Yep. I've always had a tent.
Okay.
Because, that's how Lucanus previously made his living as a kind of random murder hobo, and murder hobos need a tent for them to do their murder hoboing from.
Well, while you are picking out a spot to camp, this heavy rain turns into a thunderstorm.
Awesome.
Lightning, thunder, very heavy rain, you can't see
go
very
stand
far.
over there. You're the tallest one, so you'll save the rest of us from electric strike.
Do you guys just want to hang out in my tent for a little bit? Because,
Isn't it a tiny tent? It's like a one-person tent, right?
Looks up how big a tent is.
Arguably, Lucanus got into the mouth inn, so arguably we should be able to get into the Lucanus's tent.
If you'd like his tent to still function,
is it
this
big
simple tent sleeps two, and that implies that it's a two-man tent. If you've ever been in a two-man tent, you have to really like the other man in the tent because they're very small.
Two bodies will fit inside that space.
Right, it's like if you were both laying flat on your back like a vampire, just as close as possible. That's what a two-man tent is like. So yeah, I guess if you'd all five of you would like to be in there, you can. But touching the sides of the tent, I was gonna say touching the sides of the tent defeats the purpose of the waterproofing. So
yeah,
I don't know what to tell you.
Well, assuming that it's made out of conventional materials, if it's waxed leather, then touching the side of it might not actually.
I don't know what this tent is made out of. I guess we could argue that.
I'm assuming
Brian can grease spell it. Fletcher can grease spell
that only does 10 feet. Well, I guess maybe that's enough for a two-man tent. I don't know.
Yeah, that should be enough for
Fletcher did not prepare grease today, so
Loser.
Wow.
SOL.
Wow, this is a first.
Wouldn't it have been great?
All right.
I will like forage dinner for everyone,
Well, that's very
or
nice of
at
you.
least try to go forage some berries and see if that works.
Okay.
And we got Speed Goat.
See.
You do if
Oh.
you can.
No,
No berries.
I got two berries.
You got 2 berries. Yeah, if you'd like to try making a fire hot enough to cook some of your speed goat, be my guest.
Oh, that's right.
It is
I thought
raining
we like pre-cooked it.
a
no,
lot.
that we
No, that
didn't.
would have taken a really long time.
Yeah, smoking meat takes a long time.
Can Fletcher do a fire spell?
Fletcher could do a scorching ray. Could scorch it. I feel like
Just like
scorching
smoke.
is not a word that occurs in any cookbook ever.
I mean, what is brulee if not for a scorch?
Do you
Fair
brulee
enough.
your meat, Peter or Joe?
You sear it.
That's not the same thing.
I mean, scorch and char. I don't know. I don't know. Cedric, what do you think? Or Fletcher, what do you think?
I feel like you can get, if you got several small pieces of meat and you scorch the outside of them, you could eat that, but like, it's not going to be a lot of food. Like, you couldn't scorch like a quarter of a goat and expect that to be in any way edible. But like, if you want to cut some hunks off of that fillet and scorch the outside of that, that'll be a nice rare meat. That's my inexpert opinion.
Would it be enough for dinner for everyone?
No.
No. Okay.
There are 2 fillets on a goat. 4, I guess,
Antelope.
if you want to, like, yeah, or antelope, yeah.
I mean, by the way, speed goat is the slang for antelope here in Wyoming because the North American antelope are actually goats.
Oh, that's a fun fact.
They are convergently evolved from the antelope in Africa. Completely different family, but functionally the same thing.
Well, who knows? Maybe these are antelopes.
That's very true. That's very true.
Qui-Gon Bauer suggested actually using the scorching ray to start a fire, which is a really good suggestion.
Does scorching ray actually like make flammable things light on fire? I know some fire spells do and some fire spells don't.
I don't think so. Like, specifically, like, Fireball, like,
Yeah.
says, like, inanimate objects catch on fire.
Yeah.
Scorching ray does not.
Okay.
I
that's what thought.
always imagined scorching ray more as a microwave kind of cooking.
Gross. You take 3 beautiful, rare antelope steaks
You
and you're going to
microwave
microwave them. You monster.
Yeah, don't let
Sarah, that pun.
don't. Oh yes, Sarah.
That pun.
Cantaloupes.
Okay. Cantaloupes. They can't eat it.
Just don't. Whatever happens, do not ever let Dan Tequila hear this conversation. Anyways,
Peter's in pain thinking about microwaving steaks. So many meat arguments in this episode. Yeah, apparently they don't know.
City's with me.
They don't know what to do
If
with
there's anything
themselves
that
without
North
Fletcher.
Carolinians and Texans can agree on, it's not to ruin meat.
nope.
I mean, I wouldn't
Wyoming-
microwave a
There's
steak
just-
either, and I'm not from the South. Like, come on.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
that's
the
not
Wyoming,
even
Human
that's just a
decency, yeah.
knowing how the microwave works
Yeah.
thing, man.
the Wyoming boy here agrees. So yeah, looks like we're having.
I don't
trail
eat a
mix
lot
today.
of beef because I don't know how to cook it properly.
Oh.
Yeah.
If I'm ever
Looks
allowed to travel to see you again, we can have like a cooking thing. That would be fun.
And I know how to cook a lot of other things, but I've never been good with beef.
I've seen your Instagram. Cindy's been having cooking adventures on Instagram. Anyway,
Really?
yeah. Okay, Lord, what are you trying to start a fire in this downpour? What's happening?
We are having trail mix for dinner. We all decided
in the
that,
cold, in the wet, like a bunch of grumpy.
like a bunch of grumpy murder
Is there
homies.
anything else for it?
I
We're going to spend the entire evening arguing about food.
I guess.
Just like the cast of this show.
Yeah, okay. There's no wall here, folks.
We're not even role playing at this moment.
Yeah, it's just we are who we are.
I just have nothing.
Yeah, that's fine. It does sound a little like field work, except that I don't do field work in the rain because I can just drive to my field site and then home again at night.
Yeah, we're
Did I happen to see any white flowers while we were walking today?
What was your? Did you perceive today? I don't remember if you perceived today.
I did a 1 right at the beginning.
You did a 1 right at the beginning.
But I think that was before she told me about the flowers.
Okay, you could have done 1 like midday-ish as it was starting to rain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do I know about this search for white flowers?
I don't think she told you.
Oh, okay then.
24.
24. I mean, there are white flowers and pink flowers and yellow flowers all over the prairie. So, like, yeah, you see lots of different kinds of white flowers. If you'd like to point some of them out to her and ask if they're what she's looking for, you can. Yeah. So you see there are... Oh, goodness. What's the cat doing?
The other perpetual question of nature check.
Right?
What is the cat doing?
So there are, like, daisy-looking type flowers. Kay, is that what you're looking for? No?
Nope.
No?
Yeah, so we just kind of spend the afternoon, like, it's progressively raining harder, and every time I see a white flower, I go, that one?
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah, so there are kind of biggish daisies. There are little daisies of what I'm, in IRL would be fleabane. So many, many tiny little white daisies on one thing. No, that's not it either.
It's like more like a. I remember you told me they're like snapdragons, so I'm gonna try and remember if I remember what snapdragons look like.
Okay.
I don't live in the United States anyway. I forgot what flowers look like.
I mean, snapdragons are domestic, so like they could be anywhere. But
they're like the kind of like curly key with like white flowers all along the. Then never mind. I have no idea what snapdragons are.
But we don't see any of those. Like
I mean, you do.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
but
you see stalks of those. Sure.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what they look like. They're like little stalks of like little like.
Yeah, it's a stalk with many little like so they look like a tube, like a trumpet flower kind of, right, with like a little like
there's like
opening. Yeah. This is not great for the podcast, but I know it's very difficult to describe flower shapes. I had a really hard time with the Monarda too. But yeah, they're snapdragons. They kind of are trumpety looking. Yeah, and there's like many flowers on an inflorescence around a flower head on this stalk. So yeah, you find some of those. And Kay's like, yeah, that's exactly what I'm looking for. Yep. Those plants.
Now what?
Any white walls?
I don't think so.
Cool. I don't know.
I just see grass and rain.
Yeah, grass, rain, flowers. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you hang out and have soggy camp, I guess. Is anybody doing anything besides arguing about food in this campsite?
Have you met us? No.
No? Okay. Mystery pickle?
So we're in a pickle, so you might as well be eating one.
I
actually just made pickles
like all of
week.
our audience. Talking about food constantly makes me hungry.
Yeah, no, fair. Yeah, so I guess you go to sleep then, if you're not doing anything else. Although, again, those of you who are trying to sleep outside, Nautia's happy in the rain. But
I am definitely in the tent with Lucanus.
Are you?
Take a watch.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so Cedric and Fletcher are outside in the rain. Lucanus, is this actually okay that she come in and sleep very close to you in the tent?
I invited her.
Okay.
I invited her.
All right.
So.
She has like made a wall between them with like her backpack.
Oh yeah. Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so Nadia's taking a watch. What's the rest of the watch schedule?
Lucanus is gonna take second watch, but I am definitely gonna have another one of them PTSD dreams.
Okay, yeah. So you definitely Kay, it's a little rough sleeping at the beginning because while Nadia's on watch, Lucanus is sort of tossing and turning in his trance. Yeah. Nadia, give me a perception check.
Peter, are you percepting?
Yes, I was trying to like
14.
14. Okay, yeah, it's
I just had a moment because the 7 on this one is like the end of it is kind of rubbed out, so like it looked like a 1 for a second there. But it's not. It's a 7. 14.
I know that struggle. Yeah, okay, so it's a heavy downpour of rain. It is a loud thunderstorm, which you love. This feels so good. You don't notice anything out of the ordinary, but honestly, like, you wouldn't expect much to be out happening in this. It's very loud and very rough, and you can tell that your friends who are trying to sleep out here are not having a great time because they're very wet and it's very loud. Probably inside the tent is a little better. So yeah, you guys switch, and Lucanus takes the other 8 hours of the night into the morning. So Lucanus can give me a perception check.
Kay gets the whole tent to herself.
Kay does get the whole tent to herself.
Yeah.
22.
Yeah, so the rain starts to sort of lessen a little bit, into the morning. It's still raining, but it's not quite as thunderstormy anymore. The storms seem to happen mostly during the nights. And you don't really notice anything out of the ordinary during your watch. Yeah, we'll do headphones off for a quick moment for everybody but Kay, as she finally gets some good sleep once Lucanus is no longer tossing and turning in the tent.
I'll try and listen harder this time.
We'll give you your memory. So you don't see as much of a scene as you saw before, but the thing that stands out really clearly, you see those flowers, and you see them like when you and Nautia were looking at them earlier, kind of up close, and you can see that they're sort of glowing softly, and the view, what is Peter doing? The view sort of pans back from the flowers and the glow and shows you the broader scene, and you see that there's basically a circle of these flower stalks, these white flowers that are glowing softly. And as the view continues to pan back further, you see that they appear to be glowing because they're reflecting moonlight. And that's pretty much all you get from the dream, but you just see that scene again, sort of, slowly Ken Burns style panning out from the flower to show you the circle, and then show you that they're glowing in the moonlight.
Okay,
you guys can put your headphones back in. I don't know what Peter's doing.
Whatever. Kay runs over to Nautia and she's like, all right, so we're looking for those same flowers, but glowy ones in a circle reflecting moonlight. I hope that helps. Yeah, don't worry. Very helpful. Yeah.
Glowing white flowers in a circle.
Reflecting moonlight. Yep.
Reflecting moonlight. So we should look for those flowers at night?
That would probably make sense. Now that you mention it with the moon and all.
Did I miss the headphones on thing?
Yes, you did.
Sorry. Yeah.
It's morning now, right? This is morning
it
after.
Is, yeah. I assume that's when you're having this conversation, unless you decided to wake her up in the middle.
That's what I was checking.
Yeah. So it is now the 28th day of Bloom Run, and she has given you that piece of information, and that feels like a great place to call it. Qui-Gon Bauer says...
You made so much progress today, y'all.
Yeah, you really did. Qui-Gon Bauer says at night when it isn't raining. That's a great point, because... clouds and such. But thank you to everyone who's been hanging out in the chat. I appreciate you. And thank you so much. I see a lot of new faces watching, a lot of new names watching this evening. Thank you so much for being here. We appreciate you. Nikki wants Tulip to just hop back into the campaign. Still no fight scene. She
totally should.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, sorry, Qui-Gon Bauer, still no fight scene. I promise we'll have combat eventually if they decide to do anything. We tried! They were just like, we're walking! And I'm like, okay, I could have added a monster to the scene where Cedric stabbed himself in the hand. I guess that's a thing.
We just did all walking and all low rolls.
Yeah, apparently I should have, like, had a random monster encounter or something. What are you trying to say? I can't hear you.
Been muted this whole time, haven't I?
Yeah.
The monster of a potential infection.
Yeah, okay, sure. Yes, that.
The potential monster inside us all.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Sarah points out that there was a fight scene about barbecue. It's true. We did talk about science, though, so let's be fair. Like, we definitely talked about science earlier. So yeah, thank you ever so much to everyone who hung out, whether you're in the chat or just watching. Thank you to everyone who is listening or watching afterwards. We appreciate you. News. What's coming up? Next, Joe is playing Pokemon on Thursday. Emily is playing probably The Last of Us Part 2 on Saturday. We are not playing Burn next Sunday because Xander is on vacation or something. And then, the next Saturday, so that will be the 17th, we will be back for episode 30 of Arda. Oh my gosh! 30 episodes? That's bananas. I had to make
You're doing a one-shot tomorrow, right?
It's not going to be live.
Oh. Never mind.
I am running a one-shot tomorrow that will eventually appear only on our podcast and our YouTube, not on our Twitch. It's going to be pre-recorded. It's not going to be live. But check out our YouTube and our podcast for that one-shot in December. It's gonna be a story that's canon for this world where this campaign is taking place, but it won't be happening on the continent of Arda. It will be happening somewhere else. So stay tuned for that. Yes, Nikki's very, very excited about it. So Nikki's gonna be in that, as well as a host of other friends from the Pod Squad, who you may see and hear in the chat or appearing on our show at points in the future. Who knows? They'll be around.
I am apparently the monster of the episode for suggesting that we microwave steak.
Okay,
Yep.
Yep.
Absolutely. The big bad evil guy in this entire campaign. I feel like we're gonna build up to
all of the bosses that I've written that don't matter because so we're gonna leave because this has been this.
Productive.
But we love you all dearly. Thank you for hanging out with us and supporting us. It really, really means a lot. I hope that we've been able to bring a smile to your faces in amongst all of the, oh my gosh, it's already October of 2020-ness that is life right now. We're gonna leave, but please take care of yourselves and everyone around you, and we'll see you later. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.